Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some Full Metal Demon Muramasa. We're here at the final showdown. Ginseigo versus Muramasa. It's souped up Ginseigo too. She's got god powers now, giving us a real clock and a real reason to hurry on instead of she might eventually kill everyone if we give her an infinite amount of time. And she doesn't have that. Or well, she didn't. Now she does. And in fact, we're the one on a clock as she's given us, 45 minutes before everyone on the planet's dead? Seems good to me. A frigid chill drives back the volcano's heat. Not a gust of winter air, but the icy will of a human heart. I like how they just, completely killed the audio for this. They're like dead silence. This is the calm before the storm. Our brief moment of respite before the action picks up again. It was such a great time to pause. It was such a great time to stop last time. And I'm hoping we can reach the end this time. So that's your answer?
分かっていた。そう。お前はあくまでも母上の味方。
I suppose I knew it would be so.
俺ではなく。
You've always taken mother's side over mine.
母こそは俺の敵であった。
My mother, my most hated foe, is dead.
母の意志に従うなら。兄影明。お前も光の敵。
But if you continue to serve her will, then Kageaki, my brother, you are my enemy. Did you say you are Hikaru's enemy?
その通りだ。
I thought I heard her name. Yep.
倒す。
Then die.
母に従うその生命魂魄。奪い尽くす。
Slay mother's curse from your soul.
母のものは何もかも、この光が奪う。
Everything that was hers will be mine.
そして世界を打倒する。
And then I'll scour mankind from the earth. I actually thought that line would be longer.
すべて終わった後で、この身に宿る力を使い、我が父のみを生き返らせよう。
When everything's over and the world's empty, I'll use this power to restore my father to life.
阻めるものなら阻むがいい。
If you believe yourself able to stop me, then come! Once more the air surges with heat. At last, Minato Hikaru, Ginseigo has turned her malice on me. This duel will end with a single blow, of that there can be no doubt. I know Ginseigo's strength well, she won't need more than one blow to kill me. But the reverse is also true. My opponent's no longer a mountain on two legs, but a Musha of purely average size, a target small enough to split with one stroke. Whoever lands their attack first will win. Tactics, I'll approach this situation as I would a ground-based engagement. Although we're both hovering tanks, hovering thanks to our control over gravity, that same power means we might as well be standing on solid ground. Given that we're close enough to hear each other speak, this is where we must do battle. To attempt a change in position will be the same as turning our back on the enemy, and flight is out of the question. When I move, it will be to strike, to unleash an attack that will surely slay my foe. And the same is true for Hikaru. Hikaru doesn't even draw a sword, she just I use my hands, it's all good. Ginseigo's already assumed her stance, left hand presented, right pulled back. Enju, a basic unarmed stance of the Yoshino Onryu, though she appears to have modified it somewhat. The first purpose of Enju is simple, use your left hand to neutralize the enemy offensive and deliver a crushing blow with your right. This opponent, however, is unlikely to follow the prescribed course. Instead, she'll do as she did at Hachiman's Shrine. She'll attack head-on with no attempt at deception, depending on raw speed to overwhelm my defense. For anyone else, this plan would be foolish in the extreme, not truly a plan at all, but for Ginseigo, able to move at speeds beyond what the human eye can perceive, this approach is far more effective than any clever ruse would be. If she makes it to striking distance, it's over. The precise nature of her strike will not be relevant. Considering Ginseigo's power and skill, I have no hope of withstanding any conceivable attack. If she strikes with intent to kill, which intent she now undoubtedly possesses, I'll surely die. To look upon Hikaru now, one might be forgiven for thinking her part of the landscape. She seems utterly at peace. One with the world, only her eyes stand out from the background, two bright crimson flames hungrily awaiting the moment to destroy me. In answer, I assume the standard Musha Jodan, Nodachi poised above my right shoulder. Seemingly simple stance has in fact near limitless applications, but all derive from the same foundational intent: to cut your enemy down the moment she enters your range. That's the whole of my plan. Yeah, it's possible to lay a trap from this stance, but I already dismissed that option outright. Against this opponent, if I'm lucky, the attempt will prove nearly futile. Far more likely it will be my undoing. Time and energy are precious here. When the moment comes, there will be no room for tricks. I must focus all my strength and skill into the killing blow. Strike the moment she enters my range is my only hope. Fortunately, I have one advantage. Ginseigo is unarmed, while my weapon is the mighty Nodachi. My range greatly outstrips hers. Even if she moves first, I'll have space in which to react. But will it be enough? It all comes down to this. The window will be open for a fraction of an instant. Will I be able to exploit it? Every time I attempted this feat before, it ended in failure. Ginseigo's breathing is steady and slow, so soft one might think her asleep. Because, of course, that's just what she is. Ginseigo is a dream, and as a dream, she possesses clarity of mind to rival the wisest sages of myth. A natural muso, the absence of thought, which is to say the absence of any delay between intent and action. Do I have it in me to match her? To seize a moment of vulnerability that can hardly be said to exist? Perhaps, but only if I meet three conditions. 1. I must remember that my enemy is Ginseigo. 2. I must forget that my enemy is Hikaru. And 3. I must abandon myself. That night at Kenchoji Temple, I performed an impossible feat. Unarmored, with naught but a common blade, I cut through Tsurugi steel. Yeah, it was fucking sick. At the time I was under Ginseigo's influence, my heart twisted to serve a single purpose. Not Muga, the absence of self. Indeed, its polar opposite, but alike in one respect. Purity of will, of purpose. That's what makes the impossible possible. I know, I accomplished this feat once before, many years ago. Then too, my mind possessed singular focus. If I once again reach that state of mind, if I purge my soul of anything extraneous to the purpose, I can transcend human limitations. I can slay Ginseigo. I remember how it felt, the clarity, the mind, bent to perfect straightness. Remember what you've learned, the principles of Muga. Forsake desire, kill the self. Achieve
さ
enlightenment.
よう。無双が外の世界を無とする理念であれば、無我は内の己を無とする理念。
To reach Musou, you must abandon the world without. To reach Muga, the world within.
これもまた善に通ずる方であろう。
This too is the path to enlightenment. Or Zen. I'm pretty sure he said Zen there.
無我に至らば指示も私欲もすでにない。
To reach Muga, the concerns of the self will no longer exist.
あるのは世の大義のみ。その敵を討てと欲する世の意志のみ。
As Doshin said, you'll become an avatar of justice, a vessel for divine
お
retribution.
主の意志が消え去ろうとも、世の意志がお主を突き動かし敵を討つであろう。
Even if yourself is gone, the collective will of all mankind will drive you to defeat its foe. The brother of Minato Hikaru, it is he whose heart must die. Kill him. Kill her. When the moment comes, seize it, strike it, and slay your foe. But also consider the enemy's strength. If she evades your attack, what then? That will be your second chance. Seize it. Discern the timing and angle of her flight. Know that them even as she does herself, and cut her down with your return stroke. Tsubame Gaishi, alright. We're going off with that.
影明よ、
Kageaki.
一つ問わせろ。
One question before the end.
死せる者の魂はどこへ行くか。
Where do our souls go when we die?
死んだ者に行き先などない。
Nowhere. Death is the end for us all.
だが、
But if we do go on,
あるとせば、
if we go on,
地の底へ落ちて眠るのだろう。
then I believe we sink into eternal slumber deep beneath the earth.
そうか。 俺は天へ昇って輝くと思う。
I'll believe we join the stars. There to shine forever. Quite the opposite. I have her. With sight bordering on prescience, at last I've captured the silver lightning. My sword is already in motion, descending with titanic force to drive my foe into the molten ground. Victory. My sword plows through empty air. No touch of blood marks its pristine steel. Ginseigo, what skill, what terrible might. My strike was perfect, and yet she dodged it. Still, my body knows. It knows my enemy vaulted my blade. It knows where she is at this very moment. Still a breadth outside her range, yet close enough for me to strike. And that means she hasn't escaped. The silver is still within my grasp. I reverse my blade, now the return stroke. Upward, to pluck my foe from the sky. And Ginseigo gets there first. He immediately goes to his wakizashi? Short sword, right? For the time it takes a white-hot needle to pierce a single layer of skin, our eyes meet. We're close enough to kiss. Too close. Now my Nodachi is a liability. It can't kill at this range, and while my enemy need only extend her fist to deliver a fatal blow. My perception was flawless, my timing unimpeachable, the fastest strike I've ever unleashed. And even then, it wasn't enough. The silver lightning was faster still. 1 nanosecond and I would have had her. But 1 nanosecond was all it took for her to close the range. My options are exhausted. It's over. I've failed. But if that's true, then what am I doing? My right hand, what is it doing? When did it leave the hilt of my sword? It's reaching for something. Towards my waist, reaching for my wakizashi. I know what this is. Yoshino Onryo Hyoku. Upon completing the downward stroke, shift your right hand to the hilt of your short sword and perform the draw and slash. It's a technique I've practiced many times before, designed to punish the insolent intruder who thinks herself safely inside your defenses. The perfect technique, but how? This wasn't part of the plan. How did I know what to do? The first condition for victory? Remember I faced Ginseigo? Of course I remembered. I remembered who and what my enemy is. Ginseigo the Silver Star, for whom no plane is foolproof, no trap inescapable. My conscious mind thought, Tsubame Gaishi is the answer, but my bones remembered, my cells remembered. They remembered the shame of my many defeats, and determined this time things would be different. They planned for the worst, for far worse than the worst. For worse than my feeble brain could imagine, and choose the one technique that would see me through. And now, time is on my side. Before Ginseigo completes her landing, I draw my sword and strike. What happened? My brain struggles to catch up. Just now, I struck first. I saw my blade make contact, and yet, no sensation of impact? How? Did I miss? No. Impossible. But then how is my enemy whole? Muramasa shouts something, not words. Words would be too slow, but a burst of compressed information. It contains the answer. Folded space. Folded space. The Kanjin's power. Of course, Ginseigo can use it too. The use it she did. When it counted the most, she tore a hole in the world itself. A tiny hole there for barely an instant, but enough to escape the inescapable. And now?
Ten.
We are stars.
Nobore.
Go and see.
Reverse Enoshima Impact!
Reverse Enoshima Impact? I like how she just names her moves. She's like, I'll give my moves their own names. That's what cool people do. She's got the confidence to pull it off so it doesn't look lame. I'm burning. It feels like my skin's on fire. Worse, I can hardly breathe. What happened? Where am I? Is this hell? Darkness, black and heavy, surrounds me. Perhaps this truly is hell. But then, what are those? The darkness is wounded, bleeding from a million points of light. Not hell, then where?
Mido.
Muramasa.
Muramasa? My voice catches in my throat. I can't speak, but my thoughts make it through.
体はどう？応急の処置はしてみたけど。
How do you feel? I've repaired the worst of the damage. I mean, we weren't one shot. That's nice. There's pain, but I can move. I test my body for damage. Everything seems connected, and at the same time, everything hurts. The pain's worst near the center of my chest. A cracked sternum, most
蹴
likely.
りを受ける直前に磁気の壁を張ったんだけど、
I got a berry up just in
そ
time,
れ
but
で
it
も
wasn't
防
enough.
ぎきれなかった。
Not enough to prevent damage.
そうか。
Thanks to her barrier, I remain in one piece. That kick could easily have scattered my atoms to the wind.
それでね、ミド、
So,
うん。
蹴りと磁気反発、あと直前の空間歪曲も変な感じに作用して、なんか結構遠くまで飛ばされてみたいなのよね。
you know how my barrier works by pushing against the attack? Well, that kick was really strong, right? And I think her spatial folding might have also had an effect. Because it wound up throwing us a little further than I expected.
どのあたりだ？
Where are we?
あれを見てくれる？
あれ？
What? I turn my head.
私たちの世界があんな風に見えるあたり。
We're where our world looks like that. Oh, yeah, we're in orbit. All right. How's low orbit feel? Just think, you'll be able to do a big gravity fall. A little far?
宇宙かよ。
Space? Really?
これってさりげなく人類史上の偉大な一歩だったりするんじゃないかしら。
Isn't this like kind of a big deal? Like a giant leap for mankind or something? Yep, that would be wonderful if we achieved it ourselves. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel when we got there by way of a kick. The Earth is so blue and so far away.
あの方向へ落ちていかない。ということはつまり、俺は地球の引力圏外へ脱出したのか。
We don't appear to be falling. Does that
ど
mean
ん
we've
な
escaped
速度
Earth's
で飛ばさ
gravity?
れたのだ。
How fast were we going
完
exactly?
全に脱出したわけでもないみたいよ。まだ少し地球からの新規を感じるもの。
There's still a little pull actually. We haven't escaped completely. We're in orbit. Even then our velocity must have been phenomenal. Ah, so that's why I feel burnt. Atmospheric friction would have done the trick. That still leaves the question of how I survived the trip. Even accounting for Muramasa's barrier and the natural strength of her armor, I find it difficult to fathom. Perhaps Kotetsu's power played a role?
しかし、宇宙は真空、ないし、真空に近いはずだが、
Wait,
な
so
ぜ
why
俺
haven't
は
I
窒息せず
asphyxiated?
にいられる？
Space is supposed to be vacuum or close to
が
it.
ったりの熱量変換を応用して酸素を作って供給してるの。
I'm
空の果てに
synthesizing
は空気がない
oxygen
なんて
from
知ら
your
なかった
body
から、
heat
ちょっと慌てたけど。
and feeding it directly into your blood. To be honest, I was a little freaked out. I had no idea there was no air up here.
なるほど。
I see. At least she knows you need oxygen, and I guess she can synthesize it from heat? Upscaling energy? Very impressive. I may not be able to talk, but at least I don't have to worry about drowning a few 100,000 kilometers from the nearest body of water.
ただ、あまり長くは続かないから。
I can't keep it up for long, though, just so we're clear.
力尽きる前に、大気圏内へ帰還する方策を考えろというわけだな。
We need to find a way back into the atmosphere before our energy runs out.
ええ。
Yep.
いえ、
Or no.
その前に一悶着ありそう。
Home will have to wait. Are we gonna fly into the only object in Earth's orbit we could hit when there aren't any satellites in orbit? Ginseigo followed us here, defeating her comes first and last?
こうなれ
Oh,
ば、
really?
あえて帰還の手立てを考える必要もない。
Forget home, Muramasa. We won't be needing to return.
そうね。
Right. The silver comet's our enemy and nothing else matters.
まだまだ検証そうだな、影明。
Ah, Kageaki, still hail, I see.
地球を回る物言わぬ赤い衛星にしてやれなんだとは残念無念。
And here I hope to find you a lifeless ball of metal.
それはあいにくだったな。
Well, sorry to disappoint
し
you.
からば稀有な体験を楽しめよう。展開の居心地はどんなものだ。
No matter, it's a rare opportunity. Not every day one knocks on the gates of
お
heaven.
前はそこで何を思う？青い故郷を見て帰りたいと思うか？それとも深淵の星々を見てさらに先へ、果てまでも旅してみたいと思うか？
Tell me, how do you feel? Do you long for the embrace of Mother Earth, or do the stars tempt you with the promise of adventure, of unknown wonders beyond the veil?
どちらも違うな。 ここで俺が思うことは
I have only one desire.
一つだけだ。
Does he not have any swords now? Presumably he was beaten unconscious. And he wouldn't have any muscle tension left to hold his swords in his hands. Additionally, he only had one hand, if any, on his Nodachi.
いえ
One desire, speak it!
銀星号。
And
も
you
はや
hear
お前を地上へ返したくはない。
Ginseigo. Before you can return to wreak havoc on the
よ
world.
くぞ言ったりならば影明力ずくで光をとどめてみせよ
Well said. Envy then, Kageaki, if you truly have the power. Blazing with incandescent fury, the Silver Star approaches. Unstoppable speed, irresistible power, and this time, surely, her wrath will destroy me. I mean, she failed once before. Is she getting closer? Oh, she's very slowly getting closer. Her model's actually getting larger. Oh, that's cool. Unless it's a neat effect. I'm pretty sure it's getting bigger. If it touches the M in me, yeah, it's getting bigger. I have no means of defense, no means to strike back. Even when we fought on equal footing in the end, her might surpassed me. Now the advantage is entirely Ginseigo's. The damage from her last attack greatly sapped my strength, while Ginseigo remains untouched and pristine. What hope have I to overcome? Is there a miracle, a Deus Ex Machina, waiting just off the stage? I have nothing. Nothing save that. I was wrong. One hope remains, not a miracle by any means, and yet a path to victory. Before I departed Futaraku, the last egg showed me the truth. For Minato Kageaki to slay his sister, there's one thing he must first do. It was always there at the back of my mind, but I lacked the conviction, and it's not too late. There's still time, but only if I take the plunge. So take it I must. There was never a choice.
Muramasa.
Muramasa?
待って交戦圏に入るまでの時間でなんとか回復を進めてみる
I'll repair as much as I can before we're engaged. She's getting really close, guys.
うまくいけば
If I work fast, we
いく
might
らか
stand
マ
it.
シな状態に
それはいい。
Never mind, it won't
そ
help.
んなことをしても勝てはしない。
Her hand's almost leaving the text
勝
box.
つための手は一つ
There's
だ。
only one way to win. What's that?
何
My skin tingled, sensing the approach of raw battle lust. Ginseigo will be upon us soon.
村正、
Listen close, Muramasa.
今すぐに
There's no time to waste.
俺を精神汚染しろ。
You have to take control. What? What?
精神支
Use
配
your
だ。
power.
お前の精神で俺の精神を潰し、
Take
ど
control
う
of
か
my
して
mind.
取り込め。
Make me an extension of your will.
いつか
Do what you tried to do in
拘置所
myself
でやろうとした
all
よう
those
にだ。
months ago.
野立ちを再生させた時のことを思
Remember
い出
the
せ。
vision?
あれが答えだ。
We saw the answer. In order to kill Hikaru, first I must die.
俺がいる限り
As long as I exist, we'll never defeat Ginseigo. She's Hikaru.
光には勝てない。どうしようとも。
I'm powerless against her. I really like the graphic growing, by the way, in the background.
そんなこ
And
と
it's continuously growing while the text is there. It's not based on text speed. That's
Yeah,
not. It
事実だ。
is. I just proved it now.
確実に切れるはずだったあの瞬間。
That moment when I had her
俺
dead
の
to
意識
race,
に光の面影がよみった。
I saw Hikaru's face in my mind.
あ
If
れ
not
さ
for
えな
that,
ければ、
my
空
strike
間
might
ワ
have
イ角
landed
の発動に
before she
先
could
ん
use
じて
her
刃
power.
が届いていたかもしれない。俺自身が
I'm
最
our
大の
worst
敗因
enemy.
だ。
I like the
だから
music.
俺を殺せ。
You have to kill me.
俺の意志を潰せ。
Erase my will.
無理よ
I can't.
人の心をなくしてしまったら
I need
戦
your will
い
to
ようがな
guide
いも
me.
の
普通の武者ならそうなる。だが村正、お
For
前
any
は
other
使命あって生まれた剣。
For any other Tsurugi, that would be true, but you are forged with a single purpose.
その使命は俺の使命と今や同一のもの。俺の心が消えようと、
Your
お
duty
前
and
の
mine are
使
the
命が
same.
残っていれば同じことだ。
Even when my will is gone, that duty will remain.
戦える。
That's all we need to fight. I
私は
wanted
村正、
Muramasa
私は
protect your will.
あなたの意志を守りたくて
急げ。
Hurry!
できない
Oh, if I do
だ
that,
って私
忘れるな村正。俺たちは屍を踏んで歩いてきた。
remember our crimes, Muramasa. Remember all those we sacrificed to get here. Come on, don't chicken out
こ
now.
こに至るため、幾多の命を踏み砕いた。
We crushed their dreams. We stole their future.
俺を汚染から救い出してくれたあの時、
Remember the words you
お
spoke
前
yourself
自身が俺に言ったことだ。
when you freed me from Ginseigo's control.
他人に支払わせてきた犠牲、 その全てを無駄とするか否か、今が瀬戸際だ。
This moment will decide what they all died for. Something or
迷う
nothing.
ことなど許されない。
Now is the time. What reason is there to hesitate? We have no right to doubt our path.
やれ。
Do it.
これは俺の責務だ。
This is my
これ
duty.
はお前の責務だ。
Our duty.
村正。
Do it, Muramasa.
俺の意志を奪え。
Kill me. Fucking do it. Power burns through me, a white-hot flame forging my soul into something new. Instead of soft flesh and warm blood, my heart becomes a core of black steel. Harder, stronger, unbreakable, unbending. It's what I need, my true path of forsaking the self. This will purge me of weakness, leaving one righteous purpose to drive me. Thus, through the ritual of self-annihilation, Minato Kageyaki will become that which he was always furthest removed from. Witness the birth of a hero. Functions restored. Begin diagnostic. Confirm designation. Sengo Uemon Nojo Muramasa III. Confirm. Scan internal databanks. Data found. Units combat compatible. Acknowledge. Scan internal databanks. Data found. Unit has a mission. Confirm parameters. By decree of His Imperial Majesty, the Son of Heaven, Guardian of Peace and Harmony, the units commanded to seek out and destroy the enemy of the throne, Uemon Nojo Muramasa II. Mission parameters acknowledged. Scan internal databanks. No new data found. Acknowledged. All extant data compiled. State purpose. Are we still fighting God? We're fighting Ginseigo, my dude. To eliminate Muramasa II, contemporary designation Ginseigo, and restore order to the world. Confirmed. Assess current situation. Target active in theater. Confirmed. Situation pursuant to Imperial Decree. End standby and engage target. My identity established. I prepare to meet the enemy. My target, Ginseigo, is close and approaching rapidly. Time to contact 0.2 seconds. Plenty of time, guys. We wake up. 0.2 seconds to contact. Evasive action possible, likely to limit my options. Inadvisable, I engage the enemy head-on. My current armament consists of 1 Nodachi and 1 Wakizashi. I'll use neither against an opponent this agile. The limitations inherent in the use of any weapon will make landing an attack impossible. Situation calls for unarmed combat. I step inside Ginseigo's kick and deliver a light palm strike to the chest. No damage, but I succeed in blunting the enemy's offensive. Now to follow through. Ginseigo just completely lost while we didn't use our swords. This is the lowest scaled god fight you've ever seen for Mecha. Well, to be fair, Kageyaki hasn't scaled up enough to do anything truly ludicrous, right? I mean, sure, we got kicked into the stratosphere, without exaggeration, as we're now in low orbit. But I mean, yeah, it's not too crazy. A clean hit. Ginseigo boasts superior speed and power, but not superior durability. Even unarmed, my strikes have sufficient force to damage the enemy. Assessment tactics effective. Continue present course.
やってくれたな、影明。今の体術、光としたことが不意をつかれた。
Well played, Kageyaki. You took me entirely by
こ
surprise.
んな技、こんな速さを隠し持っていたか。出し惜しみとは人の悪いや
Such
つ。
speed, such skill. I think you've been holding back all this time.
ここからが本気というなら、光もその気で報いねばなるまい。
At last,
仕
you
切り
show
直
your
し
full
た。
strength. Splendid. A lancer in kind.
すべてを出せ、すべてを見せろ。俺もすべてを持って答えてやる。
And now our battle truly begins. Come, let the fury of our meeting light the earth below. I analyze the enemy's transmission. No response required.
はっ。しゃっ。
Took a hit. Apparently not that bad.
重いわ。
A fine blow! My counter-strike explodes against Ginseigo's guard, knocking my enemy back, but though the impact surely penetrated its armor, its pilot laughs with glee. Silver Musha rights itself and attacks with redoubled ferocity. I extrapolate the enemy's likely course of attack. Low kick, right straight, left elbow thrust. As expected, while deflecting Ginseigo's third strike, I insert a sharp reply. No contact, the enemy evades my attack, then immediately resumes its assault. Extrapolate, 2-punch combination into high kick, spinning back kick, right elbow hook, 3-punch combination, leg sweep. Ginseigo's last move betrays my expectations. A high kick staggers me, and for an instant I'm vulnerable.
Yoshino-Onryu Kassen Reiho.
Oh, she has Yoshino-Onryu Kassen Reiho. What do we got here?
Sakagami.
Sakagami coming up. The enemy whirls, unleashing a reverse heel kick. A big hit, okay. A direct hit, damage severe, but not fatal. I remain battle-worthy. I evade Ginseigo's follow-up, then close to point-blank range. My left hand slides behind the enemy's back while my right delivers a crushing blow to the sternum. Okay. Yoshino Onryu Kanazuki. Who?
Kageaki.
Kageaki! We exchange attacks, though several more passes. I'm unable to land a killing blow, but the same is true of my enemy. The contest is even. Yes, even. Muramasa III is at last Ginseigo's match. Blazing Stream. Oh, it's the beam attack. We can dodge. Or we can cut it down, right?
おかしい。
Something's wrong.
消せぬ。
This is
どうに
wrong.
も消せぬ。良い勝負をしているのだ。
Kageyaki's stronger than before. Strong enough even to test my limits.
光に追随する力と技。
It's wonderful, or it
見
should
事と
be.
いうほかはない。なのに、
But
なぜ響かぬ。なぜ心
why do
が
I feel
踊ら
empty?
ぬ。
Why is my heart so cold?
光のこの冷めた胸は何だ。
What manner of curse is this?
影明とこれほどの戦いを演じているのだ。震え、高ぶり、酔いしれて当然のはずが。
My blood should be afire, my throat worked raw by cries of joy. I should want this to last forever.
どうしてこんなにも虚しい。
Yet I feel nothing, like I'm fighting a puppet.
かかしか何かと殴り合っているかのように。
Well, you are.
ふん。さすがはミド。相変わらずの鋭さよ。
Oh, as always, Mito, your instincts serve you well.
どうやらその間、
You're
征
more right
服を
than you
得てお
know.
るぞ。村正、
Muramasa?
誰の兄はあそこにはおらぬ。
Your brother's no longer there?
何
What?
いや、バカな。いつぞやのようにお前の娘が、影明抜きで武者のふりをしているというのか。そんなはずは。
Yeah, I mean, is this another of your daughter's games, like the time she left Kageyaki behind to challenge us on her own?
あの時とは違う。
Not like that.
あれは正しく合一を果たした武者には違いない。
What you see before you is indeed a complete musha.
うん。考えようによっては、
I
こ
suppose
れ
this
も信
too
仰一致か。
is a kind of oneness.
どういうことだ。
Explain!
港影明の心は今、剣に食われているということよ。
His body is there, but
意
his
志
soul
を
is
飲ま
gone.
れ、肉体を支配されている。
His will has been extinguished, his mind slave to his surugis.
精神干渉の力でな。
It's a simple enough feat for one with our power.
な、
But
なんだと。奴の動きの良さもうなずける。 肉体の脳を剣の統制下に置いて
This
思考
explains
と
their
反応
newfound
の無
strength
駄を
as
極
well.
限まで削ぎ落とした結果か
Direct control of the pilot's brain would eliminate the delay between intent and action. His thoughts and hers are truly one.
いや違うそんなことはないあっては
Possible
な
it
らぬ
can't be.
影明そこにいるなら答えろお前はまさか剣の傀儡になってはいまい
Are you there, Kageaki? Answer me. Tell me you're not that Tsurugi's slave. The transmission is stronger than the last. No response required. Meanwhile, I've readied my next offense. Time is of the essence. Ginseigo makes no attempt to evade. Unusual, but no matter. My kick lands cleanly, blasting the enemy further into space. Significant damage is likely.
ミド
Mido? There's nothing.
感じぬ影明の心が見当たらぬ
Can't feel him anywhere.
本当にいないのか
He's truly gone?
本当に
Really?
俺の影明を奪ったのか雲の村正
Stole him from me, you stupid spider! Transmission is the strongest yet. No response necessary, but my armor quakes as if struck by a blow.
許さん
I won't allow
ご
this.
めんお前などに影明を
I won't yield him to the likes of
あの
you.
娘一人でできる決断とも思えんおそらくしての同意を得て
I doubt the decision was hers alone. She lacks the mental fortitude, or he must have agreed to the measure. Perhaps it was even his... Good evening, my friend.
言えな
Don't say it, don't say it!
それこそありえん影明が己の意志で剣に全て奪わせるなど
Kageaki would never surrender his soul.
俺は宣告言った影明に奪い尽くすと
Surprise that must be taken by force, as I swore that I would do.
俺が奪うのだ
Kageaki's mine.
影明を奪い
Mine to conquer.
この光るだけの権利だ
Haru alone has the right.
返してもらうぞ雲
You'll return him to me with Spider.
何がどうあってもな
One way or another. No response necessary.
忌々しい
Disgust me.
忌々しいのだ我が物顔に影明の手足をくり寄って
Creature controlling his body as if it were your toy.
火が逃げる腹渡がねじくれる
Never have I felt such hate. The sight of you twists my guts with
触
rage.
れるのも触れられるのも
The very touch
虫唾走ってたまら
fills
ぬ
my throat with bile.
もうよい
Enough.
お前はすりつぶす豆のように引いてやる
I'll suffer your existence no longer. I'll grind you into dust, spider,
塵となってこの暗い海に溶けてゆけ
and cast your remains into the fathomless void. Danger, gravitational disturbance detected. My sensors scream a frantic warning. The enemy's preparing its deadliest weapon. Evade, no time.
終
Preempt.
わりを始める
The end begins.
死を行う
Death awakens. The void opens wide. Too slow. The end has already begun.
ブラックホールフェリーズ
Black hole fairy. A whirlwind appears, blacker than space, whipping the vacuum into a frenzy, and like an infinite birth from the silver Musha, it howls with primal hunger. The storm expands without pause, without limit, consumes the space around it. What's fueling its growth? What energy? The empty vacuum, the mystical aether, its own ravenous hunger? No matter what it consumes, it'll never be satisfied. Its emptiness in physical form, a singularity of starvation. I'm already caught in the phenomenon's grip, bound by 1,000 invisible chains. Flight's impossible, and my own power over gravity is useless here. The force my enemy wields is orders of magnitude greater. I train my sensors on the gravity well, hoping to measure its exact strength. Instantly, my readouts erupt into gibberish, error, zero, infinity, error. Comprehension is futile, hopeless, out of reach. I know only that the force is drawing me inexorably towards its seething heart. Analysis confirms what I already know. I have no hope of reaching the center. The tidal forces inhabiting this space will tear me apart long before. Annihilation approaches.
来い
Come,
丸飲みにして噛み砕いてやる
I'll swallow you
灰
whole.
よりも細かくバラバラ
Chew
に
your atoms into fine paste.
そうしてお前と影明とをより分け お前のクズだけ捨ててやる。
I'll separate Kageyaki like wheat from the chaff, and you?
スイカの種を吐き出すようにな。
I'll spit like seeds into oblivion. Without a solution, my destruction is assured. Destruction equates to failure of my mission. Unacceptable. A solution is required. Assess options. Do I possess a weapon with the potential to counter this phenomena? Affirmative. Railgun is my only chance. When I attempted Magatsu against the Black Hole at Hachiman, I failed and lost my sword in the process, but this time I have my Nodachi. Kotetsu may well be up to the task. Assess feasibility. One problem found. Gravitational forces limit mobility. I can't wield it without total control. Theoretically, if conditions are met, it should be possible to re-establish control for a fraction of a second. Not long enough to escape, but enough to maneuver within its gravity well. It won't be sufficient, however, for the window of freedom will be too brief to charge a strike. I have to be at max power for a hope of success. What I need is a stable platform, something that can shield me from the maelstrom's gravity for the few seconds I need to prepare. For example, an object massive enough to generate its own gravity well, one that will counteract the black hole's pull and keep me fixed in place. But where will I find... Ah, this big round sphere. No one's on it. A lifeless orb. It'll do nicely. I have my plan. Step 1, re-establish control. Step 2, retreat to the designated safe zone. Step 3, destroy the black hole via railgun. Now for the first step. It's likely to present the greatest challenge.
Oh.
Oh? Oh?
挑むか、我が不肖の娘。
So, my wayward daughter, you believe yourself capable. Is this the shattered moon we saw in the future? It's looking like that's the case.
新規の調和。
Capable of
誤階層法
balancing these
人の
mighty
改元。
forces? Of solving the five-fold cube? The enemies discern my intent. Expected, this is Ginseigo's field of expertise. The five-fold cube, that's the obstacle I have to overcome to shake the black hole's grip. Simply put, it's a problem of
見
math.
事果たせば、我が新規の地獄からの脱出もなろう。だが、
If you
できる
succeed, this howling void will indeed release you from its clutches. But have you a hope of success, truly?
渦が何を砕くまでいくらもないぞ。このわずかばかりの時間で、新規125種の配列を見出すと。
Oblivion draws closer by the moment in the 25 and 100 await. Have you the skill to place them correctly in what little time remains? I don't know what she's talking about, but alright.
面白い。やり遂げてみせよ。三世上門の女。
Show me your worth. Come at me. In order to escape the black hole's pull, I must first balance out the forces that bind me, and that means utilizing my own power against Ginseigo's. At its heart, graviton control is a matter of manipulating fields of varying strengths to achieve the desired effect. There's 125 possible degrees of strength, 1 being the weakest and 125 the strongest. The relationship between these is simple. 10 is twice as strong as 5, while 27 and 56 are each together equal to 83. So it's addition. Okay. 10 is twice 5, yep. 27 and 56 is 83. Sounds good to me. All 125 of these may be manipulated simultaneously, but each can only occupy one position at a given time. Imagine space as a cube with myself at the center. Okay. Divide this cube into 5 horizontal and 5 vertical tiers. Thus we create 125 smaller cubes. It is to these we must assign our fields. The simplest way would be to assign them to each position in order. Okay. Tier 1, going up in tiers is more space. Okay. Tier 2. Yeah, so 1 to 25 is tier 1, 26 to 50 is tier 2, etc, etc. Our head tier is gonna be 100 to 125, okay. Of course, it won't be this will not produce the necessary balance of forces. In order to re-establish control, I must ensure that the strength of the fields is distributed evenly throughout the space. Wait, I must assign my fields to every vertical and horizontal line of 5 spaces. Yeah. Yep, I can see them. As well as every diagonal line of 5 spaces. Eh? Okay, okay. In every possible pattern, okay. Adds up to precisely the same total strength. There's no hope for victory save this, so be it, let's begin. I need every faculty I possess to solve this problem. My pilot's brain won't be able to find the answer in what little time remains. Even my processing unit isn't quite up to the task. Really? If I join them together, Surrey and pilot, then perhaps... Assign the values that every vertical, horizontal, and diagonal line of 5 spaces adds up to the same total value. First, click the value you wish to place, then click the space in the grid where you wish to place it. Okay. So what am I looking at? Oh good, I only have to place a few things. I have tier 4 and tier 5 to place things on. It looks like I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 numbers. 9 times 2, that seems good. It's like extra hard Sudoku since it's 3D. Well, yeah, that's what we're going with. Okay. I can attempt to solve this without looking at the numbers. That could be interesting. I know there's answers. I could look at the answers. I certainly didn't memorize them because I didn't understand what it was asking me for. Let's have a look. Being that most of this math puzzle is already filled in, we should be able to figure out what numbers we're looking for, roughly. You need to think in 5 dimensions. Yeah, so remember, this isn't just like a 2 5x5 Sudokus. We have to do vertical and diagonal, which is going to be a real pain. When you realize we have to include, say, the 25 from tier 1, the 64 from tier 2, the 63 from tier 3, something from tier 4, and something from tier 5. Those are going to be a pain. Are they all the same number? I don't think they're all the same number. Let me just, like, get out my good friend the calculator app. You guys, I probably won't put that on screen, but let's have a quick look. Okay, left side tier 5, 36 plus 78 plus 51 plus 29 plus 121 is 315. If we subtract 110, and then 54, then 15, then 28, then 108, we get the same number, okay. Let's just verify that. So 121 plus 108 plus 7 plus 20 plus 59, we get 315. 315 minus 29 minus 28 minus 122 minus 125 minus 11. Okay, so we have our number. It is 315. That is the number we have to get to with these extra numbers. Okay. 315. That should be an interesting puzzle. It might only have one solution. Do I have a pen on me? It'd probably be easier than just using a calculator. Oh, I do not have my pen here. My pen is on the desk behind me. Okay. 315. Well, you know what? Guess we're doing this just with our good friend the calculator. No pen, no paper, no nothing. It's going to be a little bit extra challenging. So let's start. I'm going to look at what's the highest number we have here. We have like 136, 145, 196. 196 is the highest, I think. It's tier 4. We have a tier 4 with 109 and 87. That looks the highest. Okay, so I'm gonna look at that I'll look at that number. And my thought is, what number would go there? So we have 315. Right? We have 315. 315. And we subtract 109. And we subtract 87. That leaves us with 119 to play with. So we need 3 numbers that add up to 119. That are from this list on the left. Can I? Let's see. So 119. Let's subtract like the top row, okay? 119 minus 62 minus 9 minus 41. Okay, so we have 7 left. So 7 plus 40. 7 plus 41 plus 9 plus 62. That was our 119. So that's not high enough. Do we have something that's 7 higher than any of those? easiest answer would be just to look for something that's close. We got 6 higher, 41 to 46. Or that's 5 higher, sorry. We need 7. We need like 48. We don't see that. 64. Nothing higher than 60. Looks like we're not going to be able to just combine those 3 numbers. Won't be that easy to get 119. We don't have like a 0. A 0 would make things really easy. What about 9 and 8 is 17. Plus 1, 18. 17 plus 5 is 22, right? 17 plus 5 is 22? Yeah, that's right. Okay. So we're a little bit over. Is there something close? I'm trying to work with some easy numbers here. Okay, we can just start with big numbers. Maybe that's faster. Is there a number that's definitely not going to work? We don't really know until we try to put something in, I feel. Like if I'm going to put in a big number, so 124 is not going to fit on the tier 4 middle column, or middle thing going right to left. It's definitely not that because it's more than 119. 105 is probably out, as 105 plus the 2 lowest numbers is 122, which is above 119, so that's out. This is out because we'd have to pick the lowest numbers and they aren't close enough. Right? 101 plus 9, 110 plus 8, 118. We're off by 1. So these are not the acceptable answers. We have to go below 100 for the middle row. Let's see. Oh, we've eliminated a few of those numbers. 96. What could we pick for a 96? It's very close to 100. Let's see. 96 plus 9. 105, I think. I'm not using the calculator for this. 105 plus 8. 113, not high enough. We don't have anything even remotely close to that. So it's not 96, because we don't have anything, like... At 105 plus 8, we're at, like, 113 or something. We need something really close to 8 or 9. And we've already X'd off these ones. 99 plus 17 also isn't going to work, as that would be, what, 20 minus 3? We need 20 more, and we'd be at 20 minus 3, so 99's not an option. Good. We're axing off lots of really high numbers. That's a start. Okay, 124, we already crossed that off. What's the next highest option? 86? This is where you have your calculator with you. So far I haven't needed it. I'm going to need it in a second. I'm adding simple numbers. So 84, I'm actually going to keep... I need a second. I want a second calculator open. Okay. Let's see. Let's put our good friend Calculator Kun up on screen. Okay. Let's see. Good friend Calculator Kun. I'll move it if it's in the way. So right now, we're aiming... I'll aim it if it's in the way, or we need to actually start doing diagonals, I'll move it. But right now... Actually, you know what? I can put it up here. That's probably better. So we're aiming for 119. If I look at 84, if I add 9 and then add 8, we're getting 101s. We need a higher number. In fact, we need, what's that, 18 higher? Okay, so we can try a bigger number. So, like, 84 plus 22 plus 8. That's our lowest number. Okay, we can go higher still. 84 plus 22 plus 9 is 115. So not 9. Oh, that was 22. That was 22. We can actually go 84 plus 22, or 24 this time, plus 9. 117. Very close. I don't think it's going to be this one, though, because 24 and 9 are like our 2 lowest numbers, right? We can't add 22 to this. We'll be easily over budget. If we change the 9 to the 8 to a 22, that'd be easily over. We're looking for like an 11 here. So 84, 24, 11 wouldn't work, because we don't have an 11. So I'm thinking 84 is a write-off right now. As if we did something bigger than 24, what would we have next? One of the difficulties of this is that the numbers aren't over 35. 84 plus 35 is there. We'd be limited. You start from up down. It looks easier since you're only missing 2 numbers. Ooh, that's a thought. I hadn't considered that. It might be easier because we're only missing 2 numbers doing top to bottom. Good idea. Good idea. I was gonna do the. I was just thinking in the grid. That's a nice idea. Admittedly, we have an idea of what numbers aren't in this section, right? This is the one we're doing. I know what numbers aren't there, but yeah, I know what numbers aren't there, but that's not necessarily the fastest way to solve this puzzle. So let's have a quick look. What's a number that has a really high combination? In fact, we've eliminated some of these. Why don't we just do like this location right here? So that'll be this tile. We know it can't be several numbers, so we're not wasting our times. This might be a way to solve it faster. So okay, yeah, we're at 119. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So we're gonna solve this tile right here. So I'm just gonna clear that out, and we're gonna look at what number we need for this. So we have 58 plus 123 plus 2, giving us 183. It's 315, so minus 315. We need 132. 132. We need 132. And we've eliminated several of these numbers to make a two number combination. So we need 132 right now. I'm just gonna 132. Okay, 132. I'm just writing it down on another calculator so we know what number we need for later. Okay, so we know it's not gonna be, since we need 132. We know the number that is in the top place. The number that's in the top place can't be any of these big numbers, but it could be in the middle. It could be in the final row. So let's try and add these numbers up. How can we get 132? We need 2 numbers that arrive to 132. An easy question would be any 2 last digits that add up to a 2. That's the first thing I'm going to look here. So I'm just going to look. 4 and 4, is that 12? No. 4 and 4, nope. Same deal. 9 and 4. That's 13. Nope. 9 and 0, nothing. 9 and 4, we just did that. 9 and 6, that is 15. No. 9 and what number? 9 and what number would you... Actually, let's stop wasting time. 9 and what number gives us a 2? 3. Right? There are no numbers that end in 3. Okay, moving on. 9's not an answer. 4 and what number? 4 and what number would give us a 2? We'd need an 8. Is there any that end in 8? Yes, this 8. Okay, so 4 is an answer if it's included with exactly this number. 6 and 6 would also give us a 2. So would 5 and 7. Are there any 7s? No, there are not. Is there a 1? We'd need another 1. There is another 1. There's exactly one other 1. 101 and 141 puts us over the limit. That's not an answer. 9, we already said 3. I should just do these in order without looking, but okay. Yeah, there's no 3s. We already checked that. 9, we already did that. 2. Do we have a 0 for 2? That'd be 122. That number wouldn't work. Okay, sorry, 2 and 0 or 2 and 0. Neither of those would work. Okay, 2 is out. 1 is out. Okay, so it looks like 4 is probably our likely choice, unless it's the 6 and 6. We have 2 and 2 and 6 and 6. Or we have 4 and 8. 4 and 8 making 12, which is some combination with the number 8, or some combination of the 6s, but I think there's only 2 6s. There's these 2. 9 and 4 is 13. 14? That's over budget, right? 9 plus 4 is 13. Plus 12 is 142. Right? And we'll double check our math. Oops. 96 plus 46. We're over budget at 142. We're looking for 132. So double 6s is out. It's a combination of 4 and 8. There's only so many options for that, so let's just quickly go through those real quick to find what's 132. So subtract 8, because we need to get there. So subtract 8. 124 is our only possible answer. Nice and easy. We can concretely solve that this would have to be these numbers and no others. Because we've done every sum and none of them would fit. So let's move this out of the way so I can actually tab into the game. And I'm going to put the answer being 8 here. So how do I do this? 8 here on tier 4, because we already eliminated 124 as a possibility there. That means it has to be 124 here. Okay. I think that works. We'll see how it goes. That also eliminates 2 numbers for us, making the rest of these easier. And we'll just do a quick check to make sure we're not crazy. So 124 plus 8 plus 58 plus 123 plus 2, 315. We didn't screw up that part. Is there also a chance we should have 1 number left for other locations. Because this has such rigorous checking, and I believe we've started with a number that concretely has to be true. Much like a Sudoku, we could actually just determine what the next number is by validating what the last slot is. In this case, for reference, we should have 66. So 66, 39, 88. No, wait. Oh, hold up. Wrong row. 42, 118, 63, 8 something. Right? That is a check. So in order to verify if this 8's right, we can just check. Because we know all these first 3 grids are correct. We've been given like a really simple Sudoku that just has a lot of possible numbers. So let's do that real quick. We're starting with 42. Then we're going to do 118. Then we're going to do 63. Then we're going to do 8. And I'm just going to subtract 315 from that. Give us a number. 84, it says, goes here. That should be the only possible answer, assuming our 8 is correct. So I'm going to put 84 in there. Should be a working solution. And once I've gotten several of these numbers, we'll do a different check. For now, I'm just going to say, okay, that looks good. Is there any other like check we can do from this? We wouldn't come up into anything useful here. This might be the only number we could check. We got verticality, but now we have this number right here, and we're gonna fill that one in. So. Trusty calculator, I'll put it on screen so y'all aren't bored. 51 plus 15 plus 124 plus 84 gives us 274. We'll subtract 315 and get a 41. Does a 41 exist? If we ever have a number that doesn't exist, either we put in the things into the calculator wrong, or we did something wrong. So we got another number here. Now that leaves us with 1 number here and 1 number here, because these are both gaps. So we're going to fill those in too. So 41 on this tier, plus unknown, plus 63, plus 21, plus 85, minus 315 gives us 105. Is there 105? There is. So we put that down here, and we're just going to keep going through that. Same deal, 84. 84 plus 23, plus 37, plus 75, minus 315 is 96. Does 96 exist? It does. There we go. Okay, this should be just about done. Now we have about 2 in every direction. All the numbers should be correct. I like that they told us, is this just math? Yes, this is basically just doing an arbitrary number Sudoku. So Sudoku typically you must use the numbers 1 to 9. But this is effectively just saying all numbers must add up to 315. Please solve for it, and because they give you basically the same rules, right? Horizontal, vertical, all have to add up to the same number. I was thinking that maybe there would be a little more complexity, but since it's pretty straightforward, we should be okay for this. We have to solve for another row. We can do horizontally or vertically now if we want to. It doesn't particularly matter. I think it's a bit easier to read the tiers on 1 tier. So now we're down to 2 things. We can just go here. We also know that there's no hundreds in here, I believe, and 99 isn't on this row. So I'm going to start here. Yeah, at least tier 3 is complete. If we were missing tier 3, it would be much more difficult. If we had the gap in tier 3, it would be much harder. Or at least take longer. Like the way we were doing it, by just working on 1 tier, it was doable, but it was going to take a while to figure out what numbers we needed. Alright, so what am I going to do for this one? Well, same deal. 109 plus 87 plus 8 minus 315. We need 111. Is there anything that adds up to 111 real neat? Well, we need a 1. 1's pretty easy to work with, so 4 and 4 doesn't need to... Okay, so starting. We're going to start with numbers. The number 1, what would it need? A 0. There is 1 0. 101 and 0. And 60 do not add up to 111. It won't be a 1. It also won't be a 0 because we need a 1. So it's not a 1 or a 0 number. How about 2? 2 and what number add up to 1? 9? That's a little large. We need from 2, from any 2, we'd be going 22. What would we need? 22 and 62 are possibilities. We need a 9. 99 and 22. 109, 119, that's too high. 62 and the only 9, and the 99, that's not right. Okay. How about 62 and 9, too low. What's this? 111? That's 111, right? 62, 49. I was just doing the combination to see if they look good. This one's possible. It's exactly 111. As it's 6 and 4 is 100, 2 and 9 is 11. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna guess it's that. Or at least that it could be that, 62 and 49. Let's just check what those are. So 62 and 49 presumably fit in here. I don't know which ones do or don't fit here, so we're gonna do another check to make sure it's valid. Let's see, 62, try here. It's a temporary set, and 49. I hope we can take these out afterwards. Oh, it looks like we can. Good stuff. Okay. Okay, so now that we've placed 62, now that we've placed our good friend 62, 62 and 49. Let's do a quick check. I'll do this angle, I think. We're going to do left to right, basically. And we should cut through the 62. That should be the number. We're checking if the 62 is valid. Would it be valid with the 54? We don't have the other numbers filled in, so we basically have to just verify that the number exists that we can fill in. So we're going to start with tier 1, 66, plus 39, plus 88, plus 62, minus 315, gives us 60. 60 is a number we can place on tier 5. So it would be this number here. And I just want to make sure that this next number works as well. We're going to do a check for the 49. So we're going to put down 67 plus 17 plus 81 plus 49 equals 214. We're going to subtract 315. I'm sure you can tell that 101 is probably going to be the answer here. And it is 101. Put it in here. Now we've completed a row using exclusively things we filled in based on other tiles. Let's do a check for those. Looking good so far. Basically, we're almost done the puzzle, as there shouldn't be too much left to solve here. We have most of our numbers. There's only one possible number for these. Once there is, there'll be one possible number for these, which means there'll be one possible number for these. And I mean, there's already only one possible number for these two tiles here. So basically, we're just doing fill-ins, adding up to 315, and then subtracting the numbers. So let's have a quick look at this bottom corner. 101, 101 plus unknown plus 79 plus 95 plus 5, 280 minus 315, 35, 35 exists. Alright, next up, starting with 60, 60 plus 19 plus 114 plus 48 minus 315 is 74. Going right here. Now we're going across on the tier 4 with this 62-74 deal. 62 plus 74 plus 57 plus 113 minus 315 is 9. Alright, then we go 49 plus 35 plus 120 plus 56 is 260 minus 315 is 55. All these numbers are real so far, that's great. If there was any issues with doing these, we'd have to double check our math because it's possible. I assume like a Sudoku, you could have put in a wrong number or something somewhere, but we're checking pretty thoroughly, so I'm confident that's not going to be an issue. Okay, doing the row starting with 49 on tier 4. 49 plus 65 plus 73 plus 106 minus 315 is 22. We started with 49. There we go. Okay, starting with 62, then 83, then 44, then 102. By the way, or minus 315 is 24. Okay, and then we have 46 and 99 are the only numbers left. Let's just do 36 plus 110 plus 22 plus 101. Gives us 269 minus 315 is 46. Meaning we should be done, as there's only one number left. Hello, there we go. Okay, that looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. Let's give it a go. It's an interesting puzzle. Honestly, we had a bit of point and click. Now we're having a puzzle. The nice thing about this puzzle was that although there is a answer for it in the guide, you don't really need that, and I did just solve it the way you're supposed to. Which wasn't too bad, if you think about it. Like I said, it's a Sudoku, and there's enough checks and numbers in place. This is a pretty basic one. Like, if you could imagine this having maybe 6 numbers on it total, that would be really freaking hard and take a long time to solve. But as it is, we're basically filling in the last quarter of a 3-dimensional Sudoku, which is kind of cool. I like the idea. All hail the cube. I dispelled it? Impossible! Impossible! You solved it? All hail the cube. Seems I underestimated your... No, you didn't do this alone. Your master's mind and yours were one. That alone made this possible. I did it first try. It's a Sudoku. You can check if you're wrong before... You check if you're wrong. Like, when you're doing Sudoku, you should know before you put in the last number if you did it wrong. Because the last number won't match. Basically, every other direction of a Sudoku is a checksum that tells you if you're doing it right. So there shouldn't... If you check, like, a few of yours as you're doing it, you're usually okay. It wasn't the most complicated puzzle. So usually the issue should be, because this is we're eliminating numbers one time, the issue will be that the number we get from our math doesn't exist when we're checking what number we need. Basically, like, think of it if you're doing a Sudoku, right? If you get to a box that already has a 2, and the number you need for a column is 2, you know you fucked up. We're doing the same thing, it's just with addition, okay? Yeah, it's Sudoku with the Z-axis, and a little bit of math instead of 1 to 9. So you're doing math, but your end result is the same. You should always know if your number's wrong, because the math I'm doing to verify what goes in a column should at some point be wrong. And generally you're not, like, wrong with the Sudoku once you've solved it. I mean, it's happened to me a few times, but usually that happens. When I'm solving Sudokus and I get it wrong, it's usually because you're doing a more difficult Sudoku, and there's a point where you realize you can't actually... You have to guess. You have to be like, I think it's this or this, and you have to say, it's going to be this, we're going to try this out, and if it fails, we'll go over to the second one. Right? Like, at some point in more complicated Sudokus, you kind of have to guess what the answer is sometimes. And those are the ones that are tricky, because you have to guess what it is, and then from your guess, incorrect logic may follow. That's the risk of those. But for the most part, once you're at endgame and solving everything, you should be able to see the answer. They should have added false answers. It would have been much more difficult if there were false answers, yes. Or if they didn't eliminate numbers. If they didn't eliminate the numbers you could have used. It was still good, though. I had fun. I had fun doing this random Sudoku puzzle. previous Sudokus, a variant I haven't played. Yeah, Master's Mind and yours are one that makes it possible. Yeah, alright.
そこまでのことができるほど
Such oneness.
人との一致をなしたのか
I never imagined. Step 1 complete. Control established. Step 2 complete. Position stable. Step 3.
己逃がさぬ
Get back here, damn you! A wave of gravitational force lashes out like a grasping fist. Although it's weaker by far than the storm itself, a drastic loss of mobility is assured if the wave catches me, and that'll hasten my return to the void and doom my plan to failure. How to prevent this? Flee? No need. Against this attack, these fortress walls will suffice. Time is short, this bastion won't last forever. I must use the brief span allotted to draw forth all the power that my flesh and metal possess. For this moment, nothing else matters.
おお
Oh. A second wave reaches out, and a third, but my shield holds its alabaster light, keeping the darkness at bay. Already can feel the protection waning. At most, I have a few seconds more. But seconds are enough to seize victory.
メールガン
Railgun.
うわっち
You got it. About half the reason we're doing that was to escape the black hole, but we actually escaped the black hole already. My energy reserves exhausted, I land atop a lunar mountain and turn to assess the aftermath. It worked. I saw my shining blade cut into the void, tearing through the very fabric of its being. Its dissolution is inevitable now. And surely Ginseigo, as the black hole's core, has suffered mortal damage as well. I can't imagine that it alone escaped my strike, for nothing in this world is faster.
屈する
Nothing?
と思うか
Nothing?
いやお前は忘れているだけだ
You've merely
か
forgotten.
つて一度だけ
Once there were
その
those
速度を超えたものがあったことを
that even your sword couldn't reach. Ooh.
邪魔だ敵
Out of my way, Moon! There we go. Now the moon's destroyed. I like how she's just like, out of my way, Moon. I got things to do. Moon gone. Sensing danger, I flee into lunar orbit and not a moment too soon. Below, cracks stab through the porcelain rock, and in the blink of an eye, Earth's sole satellite shatters into innumerable glistening fragments, and blasting through 8 trillion tons of rubble, my enemy bears down upon me. Ginseigo shattered the moon? Situation's dire. I'm in no condition to fight. I'd expect the same to be true of my enemy, but somehow Ginseigo remains operational. My only choice is to escape and recover my strength.
逃がすものかよ
You're not going anywhere.
翼を願いに打ち勝つための翼を
Grant me wings. Wings to conquer the world.
アベンジザブルー
Avenger in blue. Seen this before.
光は記憶に焼き付けていたぞ
You
Come
recall now
on,
the
Hayas.
speed.
このきらめきを
I burned the memory into my soul. Weren't you faster than this?
そして己がものとした
I made it mine to serve my conquest. This is how Ginseigo escaped my attack. Of course, as it didn't escape unscathed, as Ginseigo approaches, I see Kotetsu's close passage left it critically wounded. My enemy's armor is cracked and twisted. By all rights, it shouldn't be able to fly. Yet fly it does, faster than before. And the black core of the ravenous void still howls in its grip. Impossible. Where's this power coming from? How does Ginseigo keep
俺
fighting?
はただ一つの夢
I'm a wish. A single desire.
港光の
The dream of Minato
願
Hikari.
いの塊夢は破れぬ
This dream won't die.
破れてはならぬ
This dream will come true. The black jaws open wide. Maybe. And the next thing I know is darkness. So what happened? Where am I? Yeah, what did just happen? There's something missing. Something was taken from me, but what?
何も
Nothing.
何も欠けてなどおらぬ。
You lost nothing.
影焼お前の求めるものはすべてここにあるはずだ。
Kageaki, everything you could possibly want is here. Am I
違う
wrong?
か
Am I wrong? Hikaru.
もう戦いは終わった。ゆるりと
Anyone else
Yes,
getting
sir.
Kiara vibes from the pose? I'm getting Kiara vibes. You can rest now, your battle's over. Over? But there's still... I'm getting Kiara vibes from that.
影焼
What's wrong? Tell me.
何を不満に思う。
Something was taken from me, something precious.
それは逆だぞ。お前は奪われていたのだ。
No, Kageaki. That was before.
だが、光が取り戻した。
But I took back what was stolen
も
from
う
you.
何
You're
も
whole
欠
now.
けていないはずだ。
Well, that's very generous of you.
なぜ足りないなどと思う。
Why do you feel so bereft?
寒いのか。
Are you cold? I'm warm.
そうだ
Of
ろう。
course you are.
お前は光の中にいる。
This is my womb.
光に
You're
守られ
safe
て
here. I'll protect you.
安らぐだろう。
Is it not peaceful here? Yes, peaceful.
なら、そのまま眠ってしまえ。
Rest then. Sleep. I don't mind.
光は構わぬ。他ならぬお前だ。腹に入れても痛くはな
This
い。
place was always meant for you. But I have to kill you.
どうしてだ。
Why? You've taken so many lives.
そうだな。
True?
だからお前は、俺を拒むのか。
Will you reject me for the lives I've taken?
とは言
No,
う
you
まい。
won't. You know the
そう
truth.
とも。お前はすでに知っている。
Oh, because you know the
無
truth.
の本質を学んでいる。それはただ命を殺めるものであり、そこに正道邪道の別もない。
The might we wield has one purpose to kill. It makes no distinction between good and evil.
あまねく部は善悪相殺の呪いを負う。ならば武人が同じ武人を正義とみなし、邪悪とみなし、己を認めて他を拒むは、至極おかしな主義と言わねばなるまい。
The law of balance which all might is bound to obey. One vessel of might, one warrior, has no right to condemn another for her exercise thereof. To judge his battle unjust and his battle just and hers unjust, to reject her deeds while accepting his own is the definition of hypocrisy.
武人はいずれも同じ。その刃先に善と悪を分け隔てなく散らすものなのだから。
For every warrior without exception slays good and evil both.
武を非難できるのは、身に寸鉄を帯びず道を解く聖人か、単に恥を知らぬ偽善者のみだ。
If anyone has
お
the
前
right
は
to
ど
condemn
ちら
us,
でもなかろう。
it's the saint who's never touched a weapon or the man who feels no shame in deceit. But you are neither, are you?
お前に
One's a hypocrite by nature.
俺を拒む理由はないのだ。
You have no reason to reject me.
安心していい。
You're
憂
free.
いなく
Follow your
光を
heart.
求めよ。
It will lead you to Hikaru. My heart? It will lead me to... Something shimmers in the darkness. Bright motes like flakes of metal drift in the air around me. Tenderly I reach out. One by one I grasp them between my fingers and begin to piece them together.
なぜそんなものを欲しがる。
Why do you turn to that here?
そんな冷たい鉄の塊よ。
It's not but cold, hard metal. Cold, yes. It's terribly cold. Each touch is an icicle thrust into my heart.
そんなものはお
Back to
前
the
にふさ
CG
わ
we
しく
go.
ない。
That creature was never worthy of you.
それがお前にとって何だというのだ。
It'll give you nothing. Why choose it now?
お
Interesting.
前が選ぶ
Your
のは
heart
光
belongs
だ。
with me.
お前を守り、安息を与え
I
る。
alone
こ
will
の
protect
光
you.
を求めればいい。
I alone will grant you peace.
よい、
Very well,
影
Kageaki.
明。お前の迷いを払ってやろう。
I will lead you out of doubt.
光が問う。
Heed my questions.
正
Questions?
直に答えることだ。偽りはお前の立つ礎を崩し、弱めてしまうからな。
Oh,
も
I
っとも、
didn't mean to click.
まず
Click, that was too
一つ。
aggressive.
スバルなき今、お前の安息は光のもとにしかない。
So, answer truthfully now. Deceit will only weaken the foundation upon which you make your stand. Not that the truth will change the outcome. In the end, you will choose Hikaru. First question. With Mother
どうだろ
gone,
う。
I alone can offer you peace. Is this not so? Peace. Is this not so? Well, the good old save button tells me I'm gonna click save. Is Akara the only person who can offer me peace? We don't have any waifu in this arc other than Muramasa. Can I say no and get Muramasa? I'm genuinely curious. You know what? Let's see what happens. The guide's open right now, and it does say click yes. I'm gonna click no, because fuck it, let's see what happens. Liar.
嘘だ。
I see your foundation
お前
crumbling.
の形が揺らい
You
でい
mean
るぞ。
Muramasa can't bring us peace? That's unfortunate.
ついで一つ。
Question 2.
お前は俺の所業をなじるか。
You condemn me for my deeds. Your deeds? Do I personally? Maybe. The guide says click no, though. Do I condemn you for your deeds? I mean, our character can't even kill her with his own willpower, right? I'm genuinely curious what happens if I just click the answers that are wrong, right? It doesn't actually tell me what happens. Time for the cheese. Time to fuck. We could just fuck up and see what happens. Okay, what happens if we say a correct answer? We don't condemn her for her deeds.
そうだろ
Indeed you don't. You probably
う。
lose.
さらに一つ。その冷たい鉄の塊は、お前を何があろうとも守り通してくれるか。
The steel you hold, will its frozen bite shield you from the ills of the world? Will it protect you no matter what comes? I mean, clearly we've been suffering emotionally, so the answer is no. Will this protect me? I mean, Muramasa can't even protect you from pain and from the pain you feel in combat. Let's be real. She tries, but she doesn't protect you from everything.
そう。
Correct, it's a weapon.
それは敵を撃つた
It
めに
exists
あ
to
る
kill
もの
your
であっ
foe,
て、
not protect you.
お前を守るためにあるものではない。もう一つ。そやつはお前に安らぎよりも苦しみを多くもたらした。
Question 4, the armor has brought you pain and hardship far more than it ever brought you solace, no? Pain, solace? Endless hardship. Endless hardship, endless suffering. When did we have peace? We know that. Yeah, endless suffering.
であろう。
Of course, of course.
では、最後に一
Final
つ。
question. Whom do you choose?
お前が求めるものは、
If you get a question wrong, you have to pick Hikaru. That's what happens. I see. Well, a time to see how the bad end works, guys. I assume that's the... Is there a shot for that? Doesn't fucking tell us. Apparently the guide writer never got this one. Let's see what picking Hikaru does.
そうだ。
Hikaru,
そ
very
れでい
good.
い。
Very good.
ようやく分かってくれた
Seen the
な。
light. Kageaki.
影明。
This is where I belong. Accepting Hikaru will free me from doubt, pain, and suffering. As long as I have her, nothing else matters. Game over, you have fallen. Okay. So no interesting scene play for that defeat. Okay. We knew that was probably not the right answer. Did it anyway, because fuck it. Alright, let's do it the right time. Let's do it right this time. So, with Mother gone, I alone can offer you peace. Is this not so? Yes.
うん。
Can I hold control to skip this? I don't
つ
think
い
so.
で一つ。
I don't think so. No. Oh, there it is. The old skippy button. Nope. I want to turn off the auto skip. I hope it stops auto skipping when we hit the question. I can't tell if it's spacebar or control that's doing that. Yes?
であろ
Of course.
う。では、
Final
最後
question, who
に
do you
一
choose?
つ。
This time when we don't fuck up, we get the
お
option
前が求
Muramasa.
めるものは、
So if you don't answer those in those binary questions in that order, you will get only Hikaru and get a game over. Interesting. Okay. Like some of the stuff we tried, a lot of the times I've been checking to see what the guide actually requires. You can be a little bit, you can change some minor things that aren't key flags can be done in. I think they can be done in different orders. Like the airship scene is a good example. In this case, and of course the answering the puzzle could be done in any order you want it to, as long as you got the numbers right in the end. This one, yeah, you gotta get this one right. Muramasa, we're picking Muramasa.
なぜだ。
Why?
なぜ、光を求めない。なぜ、その雲を求める。
Why don't you come to my side? Why do you choose the spider instead?
なぜだ、影明。
Answer me, Kageaki. I'll never choose you, Hikaru.
なぜ。
Why? We're killers, you and I. Our guilt is equal, as you say. And yet we're not the same. We can never be together.
なぜだ。
Why? As you condone what you've done. You're a dream. You have no conscience. No matter how many lives you take, you never doubt your way. You accept yourself, and not I. I reject myself and all that I've done. Unlike you, I'm real. I'm part of the world. Where I've been, what I've left behind, it's no less important than where I'm going. Even if all my actions I've saved gather before me to sing my praises, I'll never be able to ignore the corpses piled beneath my feet. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I did what I thought was necessary. I saw no other way. Even so, nothing will ever convince me what I did was right. I'll never forgive my crimes. We're not the same.
影明。
I'm real. You're a dream. Our paths can never be entwined. If I must choose, I'll choose my own kind. I'll choose the one who knows her place in the world, the one who sees the blood on her hands, and who will never lay down that burden.
だから、
And so, I gather the scattered flakes of metal, restoring them to their original shape. Everything back to its proper place, my purpose, my will, my armored flesh.
俺はお前を呼ぶ。
I choose you, Muramasa!
村正
He actually said it! He actually said it! Like he's picking a Pokemon. I choose you, Muramasa!
影明。
Ginseigo falling into her own black hole. And we awake. I emerge, Muramasa, once more into the ruin of the void. My return from the black hole has undermined the fundamental logic underpinning its existence, that something may not be born from nothing and thereby triggered its total collapse. All around me the darkness convulses, and I watch as it tears itself into a million shrieking fragments, then melts into oblivion. It feels like witnessing the death of a star.
見事。
Magnificent.
もはや言うことはない。 我が娘、三世右衛門の城村正よ。
You've indeed shown your worth, my daughter, third of our line, Sansei Nojo Muramasa. Because that would be, Sansei is third generation, right? That's why her tag is Sansei, I see.
なれは、己としての脳を駆使して五階層法人を解き明かし、新規の調和を導いた。
You used your faculties and your pilots to their fullest potential. Together you solved the fivefold cube.
なれのしては、
Your master showed true faith and
なれ
understanding
を過信せ
in
ず、
you, your purpose, and your way.
正しい理解と信頼を置き、その絆を持って、新規の地獄を覆した。
Enabled him to shatter the howling void.
見事な進歩一致を。
Indeed, truly, you've done well.
カカ様。だが、
Heed my final warning, daughter.
あれは破れ、もはや眠るのみだが、あがしては、まだ破れておら
Though I go now to my eternal rest, my master is not yet defeated. There's another phase! The creature that bursts from the black hole's wreckage is no longer the silver star of legend. Its wings are torn, its armor rent, its right arm is simply gone. The wretched form is not my doing. Ginseigo inflicted these wounds on itself by infusing all its world-bending power into its last attack. When I broke the void, that power had nowhere to go, so it turned inward against its source. Tsurugi has all but ceased to function. That it still maintains any functionality at all is impossible to believe, and yet the pilot's will keeps Ginseigo flying. Fighter.
奪うのか。
Too.
お前が奪うのか。
You take from me too?
かつては母が父を奪った。
My own mother took my father from me.
今度はお前が影明を。
And now you take Kageaki? It's not a Musha, not anymore. This is something far more primal. Rage, hate, and desperation. Sorrow, grief, despair. It's all the emotion that a dying wish can command. It falls upon me with the wrath of a storm. Give him back! Power surges from Ginseigo's remaining hand. I instinctively raise my Nodachi to block. What's this? Another wave like those Kanjin unleashed? No, this is mental pollution. The same power Ginseigo uses to control minds, only now so potent as to strip the atoms from everything it touches. He's trying to break my cohesion to separate Tsurugi from Pilot by force? Foolish. Ginseigo will reach her limit before my defenses fail. It's only a matter of time.
影明はお前を望んだ。お前もなのか、雲。
Kageaki chose you. Was this your wish too, Spider?
影明を喰らい、己の内側に溶かし込むのがお前の望みか。
Make him yours to feel him melt away inside of you? Kotetsu howls beneath the strain, but manages to hold the waves at bay. Just a few seconds more.
影明を消すのか。
You'll erase him, won't you?
光の手の届かぬと
Inside
こ
him
ろ
to
へ
oblivion.
奪い去るために
Where my hands can never reach?
食らい込めて消してしまうと。
Is that your plan to consume him utterly?
お前の中に溶けきってしまえば、影明は二度と戻らない。
If he vanishes into that cold metal shell, Kageaki will never return.
未来永劫、
I'll lose him
光の
forever.
元に来ない。そんなことを
I won't
許
allow
せ
it.
るか。
Minato Kageaki will cease to exist, and? What difference does that make? He means nothing to me. He means nothing to me? From the moment he offered me his hand, all I've truly wanted was to be his strength and his rock, to stand by his side no matter what comes, and perhaps in the end, to see him happy.
影明を返せ。
Give back Kageaki. I just want him back. I awaken amidst a torrent of gravity like bursting through the surface of a river in flood. I'm myself again, Minato Kageaki. I can't win like this, without abandoning self, without becoming a hero. I'll never... Kotetsu! At last, the strain proves too much. My Nodachi shatters, filling my sight with a cloud of shimmering fragments, and in their metallic light I see...
いい。 これはあてからお兄さんへの最後の忠告。
Includes close brother, this is my final warning.
お兄さんは港影焼である限り、お姫には決して勝てない。
As long as you're Minato Kageyaki, you'll never defeat the princess. She's Minato
港
Hikaru, you see?
光なんだから。
Yep.
お兄さんは無名の英雄になって、
The background is still colored, but
世
her
界
face
を
is
守るこ
not
と
in
だ
the
けが目
portrait.
的の
You have to become a hero, forsake your name,
こ
your
のない
desires, every aspect of yourself.
公の
Become
大義に従う武力行使者に
a soulless instrument of justice.
本当の英雄になるんだ。
Just become a counter guardian. Nice and easy.
お姫を
Your
倒
only
して
choice.
世界を救える方法は
The only way to defeat her and save mankind.
いい
You listening? Make no mistakes.
お兄さん、間違えないで。これは
The curse.
足利茶々丸のお兄さんへ
Oh,
の
it's Chachamaru's curse on you,
こ
on the
の
world.
世界への最後の呪いだ。
My final act of revenge. Into the water we go. What are the odds we land near Japan? I smash into the ocean like a missile from heaven. An eternity seems to pass before I float to the surface. It's a miracle I survived. My body is a wreck. I can hardly move. My blood stains the water red. You know,
ごめんなさい。ミド
Muramasa's voice is distorted and strained. I can barely make it out.
たちが
Sorry, I couldn't.
あなた
What's he-
そんなばかりに
いや、
My own voice is little more than a whisper.
これで
You're right. This is right.
これあとは
Leave the rest to me.
任せろ。
There's no reply. Her power is spent, as is mine. Unity we shared is but a distant memory. We're both ruined husks near death. Even so, this is how it should be.
あいつは本当に陰謀に向いていなかった。
You really weren't cut out to be a villain. You should never have named your words a curse. Not if you truly hope to end the world.
ちゃちゃ丸め。
Come on. It was a warning. If not for her final words, I would have remained a fool to the end. I would have given myself entirely to Muga and would have fought as the righteous defender of mankind. And then once my enemy was dead, I would have turned my blade upon the earth. The human race would have perished by my hand. For after all, that's the law of balance. Whatever you take a life to protect, this too you're bound to destroy. The hero who slays the greatest evil is doomed to take that evil's place. One must never become a hero. Murder must never be a selfless act. If you truly believe a person must die, then kill them yourself with your own heart. But he didn't. He just gave it to... He just told someone else to do the killing for him. Looking back with clear eyes brings a rueful twist to my lips. What madness led me for a moment to believe I could stand for humanity? If every shred of self-awareness I possessed hadn't deserted me, I would have realized it for the ludicrous presumption it was. From the beginning, there's only one path, and at least I see it true. I must kill Hikaru, not as a hero, but as Minato Kageyaki, as the last person who she can call family. But he did kill her in this empty mind state.
影焼
Kage.
どうして
Why?
どうして
Why not?
俺ではない。どうして光はいつも奪われる。
Why am I forever denied?
なぜ光の求めるものは光の手に残らないのだ。
All I desire slips through my fingers.
なぜだなぜだ
Why?
なぜだ。
High above, far past the dawn, a lowly child howls with grief. Hikaru, how I pity her. Even after all she's done, in my heart of hearts, I want only one thing: to heal her soul, give her peace, shield her from hurt and woe. Not the world, not mankind, her and only her. I'd give anything to see her safe. I can't kill her no matter the cost. Protect her is my life, and yet to kill her is my duty. On its face, the conflict is irreconcilable, yet reconcile it I must, or everything will end. I need a system, a flawless art, a technique to make the impossible possible. I need an invincible Maken.
この怪我は
My wound, yes.
従軍していた看護婦を砲撃から守ろうとして仕損じたのだ。
We were under bombardment. I went back
看
for
護
a
婦は
nurse.
助けられたが、
One who'd been left behind.
自
She
分の
survived,
身にまで気
thankfully.
が回らなかった。
But I caught some shrapnel in the process.
ご本家の怒りも当然。
The master is right to be angry. I was predicting that he was sterilized by some means. And it seems like this is clarifying that again.
これで私は役目を果たせなくなった。
I can no longer fulfill my duty to the
こ
clan.
んなことを年やもいかぬお前に頼むのは心苦しい。
Yeah, this is his father. I'm sorry, Kagiaki, you're still so young. It's not right to ask this of you. You have no
だが
choice.
逆らうことは許
It's
さん。
happening today.
取り押さえろ。そのまま連れて行け。
Bring him to the chamber. Tie him up if you must.
ふん
He'll be no use like this.
これでは役に立つまい。薬を打ち込んでやるしかなかろ
Fetch
う
the
な。
drug the doctor provided.
その方が
Better he
こ
had
や
only
つ
us
も
to blame.
救われよう。
お前は俺のものにはならないのか。俺を望んではく
Your
れな
heart
いの
turned
か。
against me.
どうしても手に入らないのか。
You never be mine.
なら
At least.
なら
You
せ
won't be
めて
mine.
お前は誰にも渡すまい。
Don't will you be anyone else's? Okay.
新規修練
Graviton charge. Waves turn the winter sea a storm. No, the earth itself is quaking, rocked by the power building beyond the sky. I know what this power will do. It'll strike with the force of a titan's hammer. It'll plow through me and through the earth, through to its molten core. It'll crack the planet like an egg. The end of the world is here. I have to stop her. I gotta take her life. And yet I know
悪く
not her fault.
ない。
None of this is her fault, no matter what anyone says. Hikaru is just a dream, and whose fault is it then? It all began with an act, one choice. To whom does that original sin belong? The old master? Minato Akitaka? Minato Subaru? No. So this is how it's to be?
この光を敵と憎み殺すか。
You slay me with all of your hate, Kagiaki?
ならば
So
心
be it,
せ
but
よ。
know this.
我らの制約は善悪相殺。
The law of balance can't be denied.
光を殺せばお前はその雲をも殺す定め。
Slay me and that spider will be your next victim?
それでも良いなら来るがいい。
Are you willing to pay that price? Then come!
降臨ダウンレイディーバグ。
Ladybug Comet? Down we go. World logic's so weird. Let us now, at the end, tell a tale of Maken. Like all techniques, Maken is an exercise in logic. It begins with a question and ends with a proof. They told him he wasn't ready, that the truth would only bring pain. They said he believed them. He knew his limits, that he was a child, ignorant and powerless. So he bowed to their demand and made that terrible promise. Was his choice then truly correct? Was there not another way? If he was not ready, could he have prepared? If pain was inevitable, could he have soothed it? Why did he not choose that path? Why did he forsake the bonds of blood? The guilt, all of it is here. The one he must defeat is there. The answer is plain. His enemy is here. The only person who has working logic in this world is evil Yakuza man? Pretty much. She's not your daughter. You're not her father. You must never love her, understand? Instead, promise you'll protect her. Not as her father, but as her brother. Promise me, Kagiaki. There's only one man to blame, one man for whom this wretched fate sprung. He alone deserves to die. With all his hate and all his malice, he thrusts his sword into the beating heart of his enemy. Deeper, deep enough to kill. Thus, Minato Kageki slays Minato Kageki, and thus, the unbreakable law takes hold. If he takes the life of one despised, he must take the life of one beloved. As strength departs his broken body, his soul comes afire with love. Propelled by that love, a curse takes flight. Maken, Full Metal Demon. Foul. Elasticaro wins. Of course. The law of balance. Is there a curse on the world that forces people to kill if they kill? On Kageki's armor, there is a curse that forces him to kill a good person for every bad person he kills. Or more accurately, to kill someone he loves for everyone he hates. That's been the problem. That's been part of his problem with stopping Ginseigo. As he unironically, it's kill a serial killer, now go murder an orphan. Not even joking. But the curse is based on the user's perception, correct. Meaning that despite Ginseigo killing a gorillion people, because she views them not as bad people but as randoms, she does not suffer the curse. So when she uses her powers to drive 100 people insane and kill each other, and she's like, ah yes, good, or she fights like an army of... He fights an entire army of people in power armor and kills them all, she's just like, ah, good, excellent, rivals, and then moves on with her life. I thought the first arc was gonna have our character realize that and get away with it like she can, but he didn't, because he's just dumb. Like, he came to the realization in the first route that, like, no matter what, you're gonna, like, no matter what, like, there's a little bit of good and evil in everyone, and there's something to like or hate about them. And I was like, oh, perfect. He's reaching, like, Zen. He's gonna escape this curse, and then, like, no, he didn't, because he's too dumb. Yeah, being a sociopath makes the law irrelevant. So is being somewhat enlightened. Curse the law balance. Its curse is proof of love. All this time, I was right. There was love. Then all is well. What I wanted. The bond that was severed. Restored. It was a good dream.
Hikaru!
End credits? We're playing the theme. We're playing the main theme. She's naked inside the power armor? Yeah, sure, why not? I believe that she's not wearing anything under the power armor. And you know why? Because she spends the rest of the day in bed, sick. She literally can't move. So, Hikaru, if you haven't seen it, is was deathly sick. And like, basically in bed all day. She couldn't even move when she wasn't unconscious. Her personality is 100% like just her mind. It only works while she's asleep. Is this the true ending? There is a true ending and then there is an ending. We get another choice, I think, for the true ending. That happens after the Muramasa choice. So this is like this is shortly away from the true ending. Yeah, that was alright. The ending was weird, but on the good or bad. Oh, I think the ending was alright. I was kind of surprised they made me do they made me do a puzzle, but it was kind of fun, so I didn't mind it too much. It did kill a little bit of momentum, but I've had momentum killed harder before. The fight itself was like decently interesting. We did have a single kick go right through the moon. That was pretty cool. Some of the logic was a bit iffy. Cool story, but nothing makes sense. All the characters kind of like dumb. A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think you're supposed to think Hikaru's like a little crazy. Muramasa's also dumb, which probably lets down that part of the ending. Like, Shachimaru's a little bit more understandable. It's also evil. I think Otori's route might be the best. They're blinded by what they believe in, yeah. But they have not talked to it at all. I do not think so. I mean, it literally took the guy stabbing himself to death to even admit that to admit there was actual love between him and Hikaru. And that's literally all she was looking for. Since I think that last minute brings me back to my first idea, and not my revised idea, that Kageaki is Hikaru's father. Or was she just saying that? I think that's what it's supposed to be. I think that's what it's supposed to be. It's like really hard to tell. Like the scenes keep waffling back and forth, like they want you to be uncertain whether it's your father or her father. That's her father. But that brings me back to my original thesis and not the later one that I revised when they gave me more evidence to being it. So, I mean, she legitimately had to go that far, because every time you encounter her, she's like, oh, I just want my father to acknowledge that he loves me. And he literally never did that, even though she told him to his face that was the case. So, I would actually say she unironically only just barely went far enough. You aren't her father, you'll be her brother. Yeah. Yeah, protector is your brother, not your father. Exactly. But like, just think about that. How far did we have to go? Like, Hikaru's had like 8 encounters with Kageaki, and in every single one of them, she tells him she's the most straightforward person on the planet. She tells him exactly what she wants. She's like, I'm gonna do all this shit because I want my dad. I want my dad to like tell me he loves me and actually care for me. And in every single fucking encounter, he refuses to say anything about that. So I actually think she had to go even further to accomplish that goal. Like, that is how dumb Kageaki is. Which also makes it funny, because that means he is 100%... Him and the old asshole are 100% responsible for the entire plot. Which is probably why he feels so much responsibility. Like, imagine being that obsessed with whatever, like, lame-ass promise you made for family honor or some BS. You'd go back and kill the old shithead? Yeah, I don't think that old shithead's opinion on how your family should be structured is more important than fucking
Gigi.
even 10 people's lives? Like, who gives a fuck? The people in Japan do. Yeah, but considering how extreme Kageyaki is willing to, how far Kageyaki is willing to go, and how many random people he's willing to murder, instead of just admitting to his own daughter that he loves her or that he's their daughter, like think about that. When he goes, if you want to take it in this light, right? When he goes to murder those 2 Amishi kids because he killed some other guy in his quest to kill Ginseigo, he's killing them instead of deciding to talk to Hikaru and be like, yo, as your father, I think you're doing some stupid shit, please stop, I love you. That's all he has to do, but he doesn't bother to even try doing that. He's like, I'd rather just stab 2 people to death, 2 random innocents to death than try that. So, yeah. Alright. Yeah, it's like you'd rather you'd rather personally stab like 20 innocent people to death than admit to your daughter that that they exist to you? That's pretty brutal, dude. And mega edgy for no reason. But hey, that also means Hikaru is right. Because in the end, she's like, I literally have to destroy all of society in order to make you stop doing this shit. I fucking will. And it turns out she does in fact have to go that far. When you're like, Jesus, girl, like, surely no one in this... Like, dude, we have the viewpoint of the main character, and he does not give a fuck. It doesn't even cross his mind most of the time.
どうした?その様子だと何やら素晴らしい吉報のようだが。
From the way you burst in here, I'm guessing the news is good?
残念ながら。
わかっている。言ってみただけだ。私がこの陸奥の国の知事を拝命してから1年、吉報なんて聞いた試しがない。
Can't blame a man for hoping. It's been a year since I took over in Mutsu. I'd say I was due some good news.
それで
What is it?
大間崎からの緊急報告です。
Urgent report from Omazaki?
映像の情勢についてか。
Something happened in Ezo?
はい。
Yes, sir.
ロシア軍に動きがあったんだな。
With the Russians?
はい。
Yes.
待ってくれ。
One moment.
よし。心の準備はできた。
Get
映像
ready.
の陳大兵が
Don't freak out.
一斉に全滅したと聞かされても大丈夫だ。
Even if you tell me the whole Ezo garrison's been slaughtered?
本当ですか?
You sure? Be
いや
gentle, alright?
君の気配り感によるかな。あまりトゲのない柔らかい言葉で小鳥を撫でるように伝えてくれれば、私も衝動的にピストル自殺しなくて済むと思う。
Imagine you're holding a sparrow and the slightest jostle will make it blow its little birdie brains out all over the wall.
弾を抜いておいてください。
You might want to unload that pistol, oh god.
わかった。もういい。人間、諦めが肝心だ。緊急報告というのをそのまま伝えてくれ。
A man's gotta know when he's beaten. Give it to me straight.
は。
Sir?
函館に多数の艦艇が入港しているそうです。戦艦ガングート、戦艦インペラトリッツァ、他少なくとも10隻以上の軍艦が怒りを下ろしている模様とのこ
The
と。
Russian fleet docked in Hakodate. 10 ships or more, including the dreadnoughts Gangut and Imperatrista.
そうか。ロシアが映像を完全占領したという報告ではなく、
Oh,
い
so
よ
they
いよ
haven't
す
taken
るという
Ginseigo.
連絡か。
Ginseigo.
つまり。
They're just getting ready to.
なら、現実逃避する余裕くらいはありそうだな。
Right, that means I can keep pretending like everything's peachy keen.
いえ、知事。
Say
それ
there's
が
more.
ん?
函館には陸軍も集結しつつあるらしく。
There's also an army camped in the port.
あんなところに今、
Army? Why would they need an
ロシア
army?
の陸軍が。
おそらく陸海軍の共同作戦を行うためではな
My
いかと。
guess is to launch an invasion by sea.
それはわかるが、どこを相手にだ?そんな大規模な合同作戦をやって落とさなくちゃいけないような大和軍の拠点が今
Sure, but
映像にあるか?
ASOS doesn't have any strongholds that require that sort of manpower.
ないと思われます。
No,
ASO.
ASO does not.
こっちか!
They're coming here?
理論的に考えて。
Seems the likeliest scenario.
ピストル?
Where's my pistol?
知事。
Sir, I have no clue. Some guy who's probably on the west coast of Japan. Ezo, the island which comprises Yamato's largest northern territory, presently exists in a state of chaos with Russian and Yamato forces struggling for dominance while rebellious natives and runoff from Honshu's power angle for their piece of the pie. Northern, sorry, my bad. Oh, wait, I thought Northern Island was Hokkaido. Anyway, though the situation's fluid with alliances shifting almost as frequently as the weather, one thing is clear: it's only a matter of time before the Russians grind the other forces into submission. And after Eizo, their next target will be Tohoku, or so it was assumed.
知事、鎮守府からの返
Sir,
報
we
で
have
す。
word from regional command. Is this the past? I'm not quite clear what's going on here myself either.
やっとか。
Finally, what do they
なん
say?
と言ってきた。
ロシア軍の帰途は、蝦夷を占領して本州侵攻の足場とするにあり、
Given that the current
したがっ
objective
て
is to
今回の行動は津軽海峡における航行の安全を目的とした事意と思われる。
Given that the Russians' current objective is to secure Eizo as a foothold for their invasion of Honshu, this fleet presence is likely a show of force intended to check Yamato in action against troops crossing the Tsugaru Strait.
動揺するなかれ、詳細を確認した後、必要に応じて衛兵を送る。以上です。
Therefore, there remains no immediate threat to us here in Mutsu. Command will continue to monitor the situation and reinforce us as necessary.
冗談としては面白いが、それがもしも本気だったら困るな。
Otherwise, we're in a lot of trouble.
困りますね。
本当のところは何と言ってきたんだ。
繰り返しになりますが、
You want to hear it again?
要するに、
Summarize
ただ
to
の
say
威
we have
嚇だから気にしないでおけと。
バカか。
no reason.
バカなのかあの連中は。
Are they that stupid?
ロシアは蝦夷を征服してから本州に来る。教えていただくまでもない。こっちだってそのつもりでいた。しかし今はもう違う。
Of course, we know the Russians are planning to deal with Eizo first. The point is they changed their minds.
奴らは考えを変えた。半ばゲリラ化した蝦夷の大和軍に構っていても仕方ない。東北を奪えば蝦夷の兵も孤立して立ち枯れになると見切ったんだよ。
Why are we getting a snippet for politics post credits? This is a bit weird. Usually it's like a denouement scene or something. They don't feel like fighting guerrillas for the next 15 years. They figured take Tohoku. Cut the supply lines and the resistance will go the way of the dinosaurs.
ええ、
Makes sense, sir.
ジーなわけないだろうが。
A show of
あいつら
force.
が蝦夷に攻めてきてからこれまで威嚇なんて可愛い真似を一度でもしたか。
Since when do Russians do anything for show?
これ見よがしに軍事行動の準備だけして実際には行動しなかったなんてことあったか。
They ever once mobilized a fleet or an army and not bothered to use it?
全く。
No.
必要に応じて援兵。それは敵軍がこの陸奥に攻め込んできたらってことか。
They say
じゃあ援軍が来るまで我々はどうしてればいいんだ。
they'll send reinforcements as necessary. When will that be? After the Russians landed? How are we supposed to hold out until they get
さ
there?
あ、
Well, I'm afraid I can't quite answer that one.
鎮守府の連中は
Tell me.
もうなんだ全員揃って脳に炎症でも起こしたのか。
Did everyone at command come down with meningitis?
ありそうな話です。
Well, it's entirely possible, sir. Get them on the phone.
もう一度鎮守府につないでくれ。
There's got to be someone we're supposed to be seeing here.
私が直接
I'll
将
speak to
軍
the
と
general
話す。
myself.
はい。
Of course. Yamato's northern command comprises 6 territories: Mutsu, Ikuchu, Mikuzen, Ugo, Uzen, and Eizo. As it was formed expressly to defend against Russian aggression, the command includes men and equipment sufficient to, if not repel an invasion, at least hold the line long enough for reinforcements to arrive from the south. That, in fact, its mission, which in this instance has failed at utterly. The Eizo garrison fell with barely a whimper, and now the entire island sits poised to fall into enemy hands. While this may be blamed partly on the Russians attacking with greater ferocity than anticipated, matters would perhaps not be so dire if Northern Command had allocated even half its resources to Eizo's defense.
ダメだ。
We're screwed.
話になりゃしない。必要と判断されたら兵を送るの繰り返しだ。
It's no use talking to him. He keeps insisting they'll send help when it's
援
required.
軍は今必要なんですが、
I believe that's now, sir.
鎮守府は分かっていない。いや、分かっている。
They just don't get it. I mean, they do. They know exactly what we need.
しかしあいつらには中央の覇権争いの方が重要なんだ。関八州を分取るために北方六州を捨てる気でいる。
It's just that they have other priorities, like fighting over who gets to rule the rest of Yamato. They're prepared to sacrifice Eizo and Tohoku if it'll get them a piece of Kanto.
そんな。
That's insane.
バカな。って言えたら幸せだ。鎮守府とロシアはすでに密約を結んでいて、蝦夷と東北の異常で折り合いがついてるなんてことは絶対にありえないって信じたいもんだ。
I hope it is, because the alternative that they've made a deal with the Russians isn't something I care to think about.
ロシア軍は海峡を渡ってくる。鎮守府は動かない。
Here's the facts. When Russians cross the strait, command won't lift a finger to stop them.
私の権限で使える戦力らしきものは警官隊くらいだ。
It means all I have to
上
work
陸
with
を阻止する方法
are our
は
local police, and they're not able
な
to.
い。
They're not going to be able to hold the beaches. And if you recall, in Rokuhara, the local police don't even have the authority to arrest criminals unless the Rokuhara approve it. So, yeah, good luck.
知事なら
So
いっ
perhaps
そ
we should
攻めら
consider
れる前
surrender.
に降伏しますか。鎮守府が関東の構想に介入し、蝦夷の旗色が悪くなり始めた時点で、津軽地方の諸首はロシアに保護を求める動きを起こしています。
Several of our northern
それに
municipalities are
陸奥の国全体が乗る形で、
they're already looking to start talks with the Russians if we agree to hand over all of Mutsu at once.
悪くない。無抵抗でロシアの軍門に下れば、少なくとも戦争被害は受けなくて済む理屈だ。
Yeah, we'd avoid the worst of what their armies can
は
do.
い。
市街地を略奪され、抵抗した市民が何人か、何十人か、何百人か殺される。
There'll be resistance.
そ
A
れ
few
でも
people,
無
a
駄
few
に
dozen.
戦って惨敗するよりはマシ。
In each town and city, they'll all die, and it'll be better than if we give the Russians an excuse to get serious.
はい。
で、だ。
But what next?
ロシアは封建制度の維持に固執している国だ。皇帝と貴族はそうするだけが生き延びる道だと思っているし、それはあながち間違いでもない。
Russia still has a feudal society. The nobles and their emperor think that's the only way they can survive, and hell, they're probably right.
だから彼らは領土を広げ、占領地を農地にして、住民を農土にする。
That's why whenever they
大和
conquer
で
new
もそう。
territory, they turn
す
it
でに
into
蝦夷では
farmland.
始まっている。
They turn its people into serfs. It's already started in Azo, and we're next.
いずれこの陸奥も、我々も、銃に怯えながら畑を耕すことになる。
You, me, and
Yeah.
all our people plowing
炭
fields
鉱
under
を
Russian
掘るの
guns,
かもしれないし、
work in the
工
mines,
場で人間機械になるのかもしれないが、
slaving away in their factories. Well, that sounds like a bad end to me. What about the British?
抵抗しても
Are
降
they
伏
still
して
in the
も、
region?
そうなる運命は変わらんよ。
Doesn't
結
matter if
果
we
は同
surrender
じ
or
と
not.
いうことだ。
The result will be the same.
我々の生活は徳川時代まで逆戻りす
It'll
る。
be Tokugawa all over again,
Yeah.
or worse.
何か
Is there something we can do?
方法はないのでしょうか。
あればぜひとも知りたい。私自身については諦めもつく。だが
There is, I'd like to
家族がいるし、家族のことをのけても、この陸奥は私の生まれ故郷だ。
It's not just myself I want to save. It's not even my family. Mutsu's my home. It's where I was born.
諦めをつけるには重い。君も同じだったな。
Can I ask how you feel?
はい。ここは故郷で、
Same, sir. It's my
家族
home
もい
and
ま
my
す。
family's.
どうしようもないからと投げ出せるものではありません。
Don't want to give it up either.
だがどうしようもないな。住民全員でどこかへ避難できるわけもなし。
Not like we can evacuate the entire territory. Where would we even go?
そもそもこの陸奥が北と南から疎開してきた人々でいっぱいですか
They're
ら、ね、
already sending us the refugees.
東西の海しか逃げ場はないか。神様に祈って海を真っ二つに割ってもらうか。
You think if I pray, some god will split the sea?
それで約束の地へ行きつけるなら
Not bad. It's worth a try if it'll see us to the promised land.
前世紀から延々と戦乱が続きっぱなしの大陸へ渡るのが関の山か。神仏の救いを夢見ることさえできない状況とはな。
The best we can hope for is to flee to the continent where they've been at war for the last 100 years. That hell is the only place the gods will let us go.
不信心のツケでしょう。
Well, if only we'd been more generous with our offerings.
知事、
不信心者は不信心者なりに頼れるものはあるか。
Even for unbelievers like us, there's powers we can turn to. Sorry?
必要なのは軍事力だ。侵略を妨げるだけの。
One strong enough to stop the Russians at the shore?
そうですが、
Yes, but
戦力になるならこの際あくまでも構わない。
if gods won't give us what we need, maybe demons will?
知事、
You don't mean?
かの傭兵帝国は特定の条件さえ飲むならどんな依頼でも決して拒まないそ
Time
う
to
だ。
hire demon Murma.
どれ
Time
ほ
to
どの
hire
大
Muramasa.
国、どれほどの大軍でも敵に回すと。
It's said they'll take on any mission, no matter the enemy, no matter the odds, provided you agree to a certain condition.
聞いたことはありま
But
す。
the condition, sir, it's...
しかし、
なあ、
I know.
さっき拳銃使わなくてよかったな。この命にもっと有効な使い道があった。
Good thing I didn't use this pistol. Turns out my head might still be worth something.
知事、
そんな顔をするな。中途場じみてきてこそばゆくなる。
Screw up.
別に高潔な自己犠牲の精神に駆られているわけじゃない。
Not as though this is
単
some
に責任
noble
を
act
全うするだけだ。
of self-sacrifice or anything.
給料分の仕事をすると言った方がいいか。
The job I was paid to do.
陸奥を守るのが私の役目だからそうす
This
る。
is my responsibility.
そ
So I
れだ
guess,
けの話
I
だ。
guess Muramasa's up for the job once again. This time with Kageyaki in charge.
私は部邸に行く。
I'm gonna see the warlords.
後のことを頼む。
Can I trust you to take care of things here? There.
はい。
Okay. Matsumai, that's the island. And it's situated approximately 50 kilometers southwest of Ezo's Oshima Peninsula. The island of Matsumai has historically been known for the rich bounty of its waters. In recent years, however, this island's chief export hasn't been seafood but war, thanks entirely to the efforts of a group calling itself the Warlords. No one knows what to make of the Warlords. Are they a nation, a sworn brotherhood, an LLC with stock options? They're mercenaries, that much is certain. They'll fight for anyone who has need of their power, attack any target, defend any town. The client's nature isn't important, only whether they're willing to meet one specific condition. If they are, then the might which the warlords offer outweighs the modest fee which their services also command, for their forces are comprised chiefly of Musha wielding blood cruxes, the invincible armor of legend. Not so invincible now, some might say, and it's true. Recent advances, the HVAP, the Vibro cannon, they've taken much from the Shinuchi of yore, whose antiquated semi-sentient control systems are unable to interface with these powerful new weapons. The days when Musha command the sky with their fabled strength and skill is over. Now their much-scorned dragoon cousins rule their Kazuuchi. Of course, as most Musha belong to the warrior or noble class, and are therefore leaders of men, not just soldiers, their authority remains intact, even though they have ceased to be the ultimate power on the battlefield. At the same time, being as the power was the foundation of that authority, it's easy to feel why many might feel their pride threatened, and why no small number have chosen to abandon the military altogether. For these lost Musha, the warlords offer a place, and with it a reaffirmation of their core warrior identity. While dragoons may now dominate the battlefield, still Musha remain a force to be reckoned with, possessing, as they do, not only their mighty armor, but a wealth of training and experience. A single Musha can rout a battalion of tanks, clear artillery emplacements from mountainsides, and even with the right conditions and tactics, defeat dragoons in the sky, for at melee ranges, Shinushi greatly outperform their counterparts. By thus employing Musha to their fullest potential, the warlords have satisfied not only their pride, but their clients' need for power, and so their membership grows together with those who would use them, even in spite of the loathsome price to which all must agree. In the beginning, Yamato and Russia tried to oust these deadly outsiders from the island they claimed. Their efforts failed, however, as the forces they sent encountered inexplicable storms in places where gravity itself seemed mad. Acknowledging the warlords seemed to pose no threat to their shipping, the powers of the region since decided to pretend like they don't exist, a stance which proved particularly useful when they have need of the warlord's discretion. And thus the warlord legend grows from Yamato to the continent and beyond. Together these battle-hungry elites fight and kill across the breadth of this strife-ridden land. And wherever a soul makes use of their power, there's also a soul who curses their name, for in truth these things are inseparable, such is the warlord's nature. Why do we have a new sprite this late in the game? The credits have rolled. We're at the very end of the route, and there's the true ending is like a single flag left. Okay, welcome. Make yourself comfortable.
はあ、どうも。
Thank you.
本当ならまずはテラスの方にご案内してお茶を差し上げるべきなんでしょうけど
I invite you to take
お
the
察しするに
terrace.
話を急いだ方が
But I gather
あな
you're
た
in
には
something.
親切のようだ
Holy hell, how long is that sentence? That's one sentence, and it's like 20 minutes. Jesus Christ, lady. I'd invite you to take tea on the terrace, but I gather you're in something of a hurry.
確かに今は玉露とアールグレーの区別もつきそうにない。
The same duration of text, but less than half as long. Okay. You're right, I wouldn't know the difference between green tea and Earl Grey right now.
ここへ来られる方は大半そうですよ お茶を一杯楽しむ間に国が滅びると信じている。
Most become here the same. You believe a cup of tea will cost you everything you hold dear.
申し遅れましたが、私はオーリガ、武帝の障害担当です。
I'm Origa. I handle negotiations here.
代表して話をさせていただくことになりますが、
You'll be speaking with me
構
today
い
if
ませ
that's
んか？
alright.
それはもちろん。決定権もあなたが。
Of course. Does that mean you'll be making the final decision?
いえ、私は話をするだけ。
I'm just the mouthpiece.
決定はあちらの。
The decision rests with him.
あの方は。
武帝。
The warlord.
この名は私たちの総称ですが、もし誰か一人が担うとするなら、それはあの人になります。
The title applies to all of
武
us
帝
now,
が
but
最も小さかった時、
if any one man can
すで
claim
に
it, it's
武帝
him.
であった人なので、
He was the warlord before there were warlords.
要は、あなた方の社長ですか？
He's like your CEO?
社長、
Yeah,
いい
splendid.
な、社長。
Exactly. Exactly what he is.
そう考えてもらって問題ありません。利益追求にまるで興味を示してくれない。
So he
困
doesn't
った
care much
社
for
長ですけ
profits,
ど
I'm
ね。
afraid.
おっと、社長は無駄口を好まれない。
Give me, he despises idle chatter.
あなたもお急ぎだ。早速本題に入りましょう。
We established you're in a rush?
ええ。単刀直入に言えば、あなた方の力をお借りしたい。
Get straight to the point, I need your power.
ロシア軍の攻撃を防ぐためにですね。
Stop the Russian invasion of Mutsu?
ご存知でしたか？
Ah, you know about it.
当社の業務は質の良い情報を常に確保しておかねば成り立ちません。地球の裏側の政変も1時間以内に報告されますし、
Our business
隣近所の
depends.
同棲ならもっと早い。
Oh my god, this lady is so wordy. She's like an old lady. Our business depends on up-to-the-minute intelligence. We get the hourly reports from all the way across the world, to say nothing of our own backyard. And I don't mean that her English is really wordy. I mean whatever she's saying in Japanese is like 5 times as long as you expect it to be, based on the length of the text in English.
説明せずに済むのは助かります。おっしゃる通り、函館のロシア軍が。
Then I don't have to explain, the Russians are coming.
明朝、あなたの陸奥へ都
Tomorrow,
会侵攻を仕掛ける。
the attack begins at dawn.
明朝？
Tomorrow?
おや、それはご存知なかったんですか。参ったな。情報はただ売りするもんじゃないんだけど。まあ
Well, I
仕
thought
方ない。
you-
今回限りのサービスってことで。
And now I've gone and given out intelligence for you. Oh well, consider it a one-time thing.
明日の朝ですよ。ロシア軍の予定表に陸奥へピクニックって
And
書い
yes,
て
the
ある
Russian
のは、
army's picnic is scheduled for tomorrow
てっ
morning
き
in
り
Mutsu.
あなたもそれを知ったから慌ててここへ来られたんだと思ってま
I
した。
assumed that was the reason you were in such a hurry.
いや、
So I knew it was
猶
soon
予
for
が許
tomorrow.
されないのは分かっていましたが、まさか明朝と
Are you
は
so up to date?
間違いないのですか？
You sure?
波と風の状況が良くなかったら順延されるかもしれませんね。
Dependent on the weather.
気が変わって神風を祈るつもりになられたのなら良い神社をご紹介しますが。
We have a lovely shrine on the island if you'd like to pray for a storm
結
instead.
構です。神風では何も解決しないということは、先の大戦で十分に学びましたから、やはりあなた方にお願いしたい。
I'll pass. If there's anything the last war taught me, it's you can't count on gods or their storms. Now I'll put my faith in you. It's like Lost Boat 6. Get to the point and stop chatting already. Yeah, this is like a weird post-credit scene.
まだ間に合うなら
Usually they're better than
で
this.
すが、
Assuming that there's still time.
間に合わないとしたら
There isn't?
神社を、なんなら身投げに向いた断崖絶壁とか、二度と出てこられない樹海とかでも。
Yeah, I didn't think Lost Bout 6 was so bad so far. I actually think that this is strangely wordy for this game. Like, what are we doing? I don't understand. The story's ending. Like, there isn't enough runtime in the game to do anything here. I'll try the shrine, and failing that, a nice cliff or forest where no one can find the body.
大丈夫。ご心配なく。この場で契約が結ばれれば十分間に合います。
There's plenty of time provided we come to an agreement,
武
okay?
帝の戦力は機動性と即応性において人語に落ちません。 しかも今回は距離が近い。これは何より幸いでしたね。
You feel like it's a build to a sequel? Yeah. If you told me so far this is a pitch for a sequel, I'd believe you. I think it's ending, but I don't know when this scene's going to end. And it's hard to be invested immediately because you're expecting it to be over. And you're like, where the hell's the ending? We pride ourselves on delivering rapid responses to emerging situations. Plus, we don't have far to go this time. Lucky you.
少し言葉を足してください。不幸中のと。
Oh, well, I don't feel very lucky.
不幸な時こそ小さな幸運が必要だって思いませんか？
Luck has what you
平
might
穏の
call...
中の幸運は大抵気づかれもしないし、その程度の価値です。
Oh my god, please shut up. Luck is what you might call diminishing returns. The more of it you have, the less each bit is worth.
それでご
Oh,
依
yeah,
頼は
details?
必要な規模の戦力を必要な期間だけ津軽海峡の防衛隊として雇用なさりたい。
Shall we iron out the details? I assume you'd like to hire such forces as necessary for such a period as necessary to defend Tsugaru Strait against Russian attempts to cross it.
はあ。
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
no, I mean, actually,
こちらとしては防衛ではなく先制攻撃をお願いしたいの
I
で
was
す。
hoping you might be able to launch a preemptive strike.
先制攻撃。
Oh?
ロシア軍が函館から動く前に損害を与え
I
撤
want
退させていただきたい。
I'd like you to attack their staging point in Hakodate, forcing them to change their plans and withdraw.
なるほど。私たちの要求する雇用料金はほとんど必要経費程度。それでも安くはない額だし、継続的に雇うとなれば大金になる。
You don't want to spoil, but it's not going to end soon, dear God. We're not sadly a for-profit organization. We charge only what we need to continue operations. However, that's not an insignificant amount. It adds up quite quickly when we're contracted for the long term.
今の陸奥にその余裕はありませんか？
I gather Mutsu can't support the expense?
身も蓋もない。
Did I say that?
失礼。
No.
しかしその通りです。経済は混乱する一方、出費はかさむ一方なので、
Our economy is shot with the war.
私の一存で動かせる金では
The funds at my disposal.
短期間の雇用しかできない。なら、守るより攻撃を。
You can only afford a short-term contract, in which case our forces would be better put to use on the offense.
正しいお考えです。
Wisely reasoned, Governor.
攻撃に勝る防御はありませんしね。函館で戦えば、陸奥に被害が及ぶ心配はない。というのも大きい。
Offense is, of course, the best defense, and also the best way to avoid placing the people of Mutsu in danger.
私たちの性質にも、その方が適している。
We ourselves are better suited to this kind of mission.
では、
問題ありません。
Oh, we'll get
当
to
方としては、何も。
You will?
あとは、
Right, you're able to meet our
あなた次第です。
special terms. Right.
ルテの契約がいかなるものかは、
You know what I mean by that?
耳にしています。
I heard the rumors.
理由を含めて、詳しいご説明をするべきでしょうね。
I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, including the ultimate why.
理由ですか。
Why?
それは遠慮させてください。
I'll pass on that one.
ご興味ない。
Not interested?
というより、聞かない方が良さそうなので、
Like a
多
parade.
分ひどく心地の悪い話でしょうから、
Something tells me I'm better off not knowing.
余計なことは聞かず、自分の責任を果たすことだけ考えて死にたいのです。
The only thing I need to do is know I died doing my duty.
わかりました。
Very well.
なら控えましょう。
Respect your choice.
ところで、今のお言葉は、
Take away
契
your
約条
response.
件の承服を意味するものと、
ええ、身の回りの整理はすべて済ませてきました。
I knew I wasn't
こ
going
こから
home
生きて
alive.
帰るつもりはありません。煮るなり焼くなり、いかようにも。い
Do what
え、
you want with me. I
な
mean,
るだけ楽な方法を選んでいただきたくはあり
nothing
ます
too
が、
painful, please.
結構です。
Certainly in the rest.
それで、
Sorry?
それで他にも何か必要なのですか。
Is there something else?
払えるものは払います。
I'll pay the price.
ムツが守られるのであれば、何でも。
Whatever it takes to keep Mutsu safe.
そうですか。
Understood.
では最後に確認しましょう。知事殿、
And one last time for the record,
あな
Governor.
たは力を求めますか？
You desire might,
はい
whatever the cost.
ぜひとも
武帝
Warlord?
承認が下りました。
Warlord accept.
直ちに部隊を編成、函館へ向かわせます。ロシア軍の司令部を壊滅させ、主だった艦船も航行不能に。
Within the hour, we'll dispatch a force to Hakodate. Well, they will smash the Russians' command structure and disable as many warships and transports as they're able.
今夜いっぱいで全て片付くでしょう。
There'll be no attack in the morning.
肩の荷が下りたというお顔を
You
してま
seem
す。
relieved.
そうですね重いやつを下ろしました
Great weight off my shoulders.
感謝します
そんなものはいりません。これは契約なんですから。
We merely abide by the terms of the contract.
ただ、
I just hope.
は
あなたが大きな誤解をしていなければ良いのですが。
You understand what it is to which you agreed?
あ誤解
What do you mean?
比べ立脇、
Kurabe Tatewaki?
はっ
今回は君の隊に任せる。
Your unit has this mission.
ありがたく
Thanks.
武帝の掟を言え。
What law do we serve?
善悪相殺
ならばどうする？
What is your task?
殺めた敵兵の数を勘定し
Take account of enemies slain.
同じ数だけ陸奥の民衆も殺してまいる
And when the mission's done, exact the same toll in lives from the people of Mutsu.
よろしい。
Very good.
ただし、1名減らしておくこと。
Don't forget to subtract one life from the tally.
はっ
I
行け。
go.
ごめん
Fire leave.
待て
何か
Yeah?
陸奥の民衆も殺すと聞こえたぞ
Did you just say it's gonna kill my people?
そう言いましたので、
You sure do.
私だけではないのか
I thought it was just me.
依頼人のお命は必ずいただきます。が、今回の場合、それだけではどうにもなりませんね。
We require our clients to sacrifice their own lives, but in this case, I'm afraid that isn't enough.
今時の軍は将軍が一人死んだ程度で止まるものでもないですし、
Modern armies don't crumble
相
because
当
the
量
general
の
is
殺
slain.
戮が必
More
要。
lives must be taken, but yours can only pay for one.
あなたの命だけでは
I gotta say, this is like the
感情が合わない
dumbest shit, by the way. If you wanna play war like this, just be Chinese. Literally, just be like, we sacrifice 1 billion people, half our population, we conquer the whole world, get fucked. Literally a 1-to-1 ratio of every person. I guess China just wins because they hire these guys and say, kill everybody? Is that how this world ends? I guess that's how this world ends.
ですので、不
The
足分
balance
は
then must
あ
come
な
from
たの
people you
味
should
方から
protect. As the only thing that matters is your
守ろうとしたものからいただき
population
ます。
numbers. Everything else is irrelevant, and China has like 3 billion people, so China has the highest population, so they just win by default because they have the biggest army. Interesting way to do things. All right,
敵と味方を同じ
kill
数
the same number on both sides. That's it.
殺
Yep.
すのか
A smaller force will never beat a superior force in this setting. Good stuff. As the only thing that matters is how many people you have left alive, and you lose equal numbers. Good stuff. I feel like that's somewhat imbalanced. I feel like that's somewhat... I don't feel like that's the law of balance taking effect. Because you say, okay, 1% of your nation volunteers. Like, let's say 1% of your nation agrees to fight in your army and invade and conquer someone else. And the other one's like, we need help. And they're like, yeah, we're going to take one person from everyone that we kill. So 1% of 1% of 1 billion versus all of 1 million. We kill everyone in your country. GG, you know, right? Like, all right. Bad way to fight against any defensive war that you're not already winning. But okay. I don't actually... I think the law of balance, like, makes so much less sense. Even on a large scale, it makes even less sense. Okay.
ええ、そうです。
The only time it's... Well, I guess they would just say no if they couldn't kill enough people to quote-unquote balance it out.
やはり多少の誤解があったようですね。
But it's alright, Governor.
あなたは何も間違っ
You
た
made
こ
the
とを
right
していない。
choice. So, at the end of this, his region will be depopulated, and the Russian military will have lost an army to conquer all of the country because there won't be anyone left alive in it. Good call.
武帝が介入しなければ、 陸奥の人々がただ一方的に殺されるだけだった。
Without our intervention, the Russians would have slaughtered your people without incurring casualties of their own.
ただただ一方的に。
Their cause, their justice would have prevailed.
しかし私たち
Now
の
it
動くから
won't.
に
We
はそう
ensured
は
both
させ
sides.
ない。
Honestly, that doesn't seem balanced at
両
all.
方に均
The
等な死
Russians
を
are
与えます。
100% willing to lose every single one of their soldiers in that army to kill you. Whereas you're losing like a whole bunch of people who don't want to die, but okay. I'm glad your balance wins out.
正義が勝利することのないよう
You
に。
know that neither may claim justice as if Honestly, if I was Russia, I'd say that's a victory. I mean, Russia does human wave strategies in real life in the 21st century. Like, you're telling me that they don't think this is exactly what they want? They're like, oh, perfect. Someone else is going to do the killing for us. We'll just pay X troops to win the war. That seems so lame, but okay. The writer of this must be high at the end. You just want to... I mean, this is how their law of balance works. We already know that. I'm just explaining that, like, there's no world in which this philosophy works, because there's multiple nations on planet Earth in the era that he's writing it that consider human wave strategies perfectly legitimate and would gladly pay this. Like, they'd be like, oh, we just automatically trade 1 for 1? Sign me the fuck up. Like we have this war in Ukraine going on right now, and honestly, Russia would 100% sign up to be like, hey, we're gonna sacrifice 20 of our divisions, kill every single person in Ukraine, every single soldier in Ukraine, just kill all of them. And like, well, just tell us what the tally is at the end, and yeah, sure, whatever. And they'd 100% do that. Because they're basically doing that anyway. Like, they send people in as cannon fodder, so why would they care about their fodder being slaughtered by anybody? If they get a better KDR, they're probably okay with that. That's why I think this law is hot garbage. It's like, people are okay with doing that in real life. Like, people are okay with this in real life. Like, they would 100% sign off on this and be like, yeah, sure, go for it. Fucking do it. Kill them all. Kill all half my citizens and I'll win easy. And then they go home laughing because they got everything they wanted for cheaper than they'd actually have to pay for it. Like, in this case, it may not work, but in this case, yeah, sure. Maybe, like, you don't have too many choices, but, like, if you're the invading force, like, why would you not just do this? Like, send some random idiot and be like, yeah, go conquer this country for me. I'll be back. Yeah, we'll pay in divisions. They'll be in this city. Enjoy. Like, it seems really bad on a large scale for dealing with armies, but alright. This is where I think, like, the random edge comes in, because I just explained exactly how this would never work in real life, because there's invading forces that would 100% use this, and would be completely down for it. But okay, there's plenty of people who would be down with this, so this strategy does not work, and it doesn't negate anything, because you'd still claim justice, but alright. Why?
なぜ
Why do that?
そんなことをする
理由は聞
Thought
き
you
た
didn't
くな
want
い。
to.
なぜだ
Why?
なぜ
Why do we kill the good, the bad, allies and enemies both? The answer is simple.
あなたが求め
It's
た
the nature of
力
might,
と
the
は
power which you desired.
そういうものだから。
As long as normal people don't know all the governments would do it. Exactly. Like, it's if you can guarantee how many of your enemies would die, if you can guarantee the deaths of your enemies for paying X cost, the minute you think that cost is less than you'll actually pay, unless it looks really bad politically, you'll do it immediately. It's so dumb. And it's especially dumb when you're trying to deal with, like, aggressive invading forces. In this case, it's Russia. I'm surprised Russia didn't just hire their fucking... I'm surprised Russia didn't hire the warlords to just conquer half of Japan for them anyway. Like, they even said they make all their people serfs. They don't even have free people. They're literally slaves. Which is, like, way back to early 20th century Russia. Like, okay, they're all slaves. They don't even have rights. Like, yeah, they'll probably just kill them anyway. Sure. Pick a village, eat it. Pick a village. As long as we have enough villages for food, that's another country under our belt. More land and less enemies. This collapses so fast on a scale. Like, it only works, like, this concept of an organization only works if everyone in the world values their citizens' lives and values their military personnel's lives enough to stop it. It doesn't actually stop war at all. It's so bad. Yeah, telling him you want to choose it, but not that it's balanced because he's sacrificing unwilling people to kill his enemies. The law doesn't make sense. Yeah. The law is, in theory, supposed to be like... The law, in theory, is supposed to be... We're, raising the cost of war so people won't consider it, right? That's what it's supposed to be in theory. So their idea was when they invented the law of balance is that if you have to kill someone you care for every bad guy you kill, you won't fight a war. You won't fight a war, but it's really bad because there's like a million warlords who are 100% down with killing their own subordinates for power. So a mercenary corps like this immediately falls into the law of stupid. And yes, the law of balance was established as a stupid idea in this universe. I don't mean in the real world. I mean in the game's universe. This is dumb shit that they're peddling for some reason. Like, even they were like, oh, we completely failed. This is a terrible idea. Muramasa herself thinks it's fucking stupid. But she's still following it because, LOL, edge. Gotta have that edge for some reason. It's probably, like, the worst idea. At least Otori's idea works. I mean, it doesn't end anything well. It doesn't end well, but Otori's idea kind of works. It's a messy world, but Otori's is, like, maybe functional and individual. Sorimachi's do whatever the fuck you want works as long as you're passionate about it, you know? He's like, do whatever you want as long as you're passionate. I can respect that. I can even almost get, like, Ichijo's idea. But yeah, I like the law of balance is kind of really stupid. So having an ending where it's just like, everyone's obsessed with it, hooray! It is really weird. Okay, it's power you deserve, sure. Is this the end now? Okay. So that was a kind of dumb ending. I didn't really get anything of value or... Oh, it's still going. Jesus Christ. Okay. I was just gonna comment on how that was a mediocre end. Mido. Catch a cold, let's go. I was just commenting on how that was an incredibly stupid ending, but alright. This is not a story of heroes. Yep, we know that. It's the story of Full Metal Demon Muramasa. Muramasa. Okay. You thought he did Harakiri? Dude, I don't fucking know. Mito, let's go catch a cold. Guess he's not actually dead. So, he supposedly killed himself to kill Hikaru, but he didn't actually kill him? He didn't actually kill himself? So you're saying you can just do things that might be lethal, and if you can regen them, you can get away with this? Oh my god, this is so good. It's gotta be some other Mito. The world is burning. Though the eldritch star no longer shines, the flames of conflict, fed by its song, rage on without cease. The wind howls, the sky trembles, the earth rots. Beneath our feet, men kill men and are killed by men in turn. The mountain of corpses grows ever higher. I mean, is it someone else? Let's see. No, it is Kageyaki. We keep seeing his face. And in the midst of it all, I'm still alive. Why? I stabbed myself through the heart. I felt the life depart my body. I'm obsessed with the law of balance. Yet somehow he's just wandering around because the law of balance doesn't apply to him because of reasons. Okay. Yet my soul arose from the darkness into a world where everything had ended. Muramasa says Hikaru may have saved me with the last of her power, but I have no proof. How else to explain it? If you're not dead, you have to finish your fucking job because you're not following the law of balance, because LOL BS. Okay. We're going, like, deeper into F-tier ending here. I already said that last scene was dumb and out of place. And, of course, like, incredibly shitty in concept because the law of balance sucks, especially at large scales. And here we are with it not even being followed for, like, the third time. Okay. So now he directly killed someone with his sword. And tried to kill himself. In fact, he killed himself to pay for the killing someone else ahead of time, but because reasons, it didn't have to happen. We're doing this now, okay. Is this the MCU, or why are there so many end credits back to back? Dude, I don't fucking know. But I gotta say, as far as endings go, you know how I said, like, the Cha-Cha Mario ending was kind of bad because it was literally 2 scenes? And it's basically just a bad end? Yeah, that might be better than this ending. And that's kind of sad, because I thought, oh wow, that wasn't really worth reading the Cha-Cha Mario part of the route, because it was 2 scenes and ended, but the ending was fine. That last scene was bad, and this scene is dragging us down so far into the bad writings territory. Maybe Hikaru's alive because she saved him, so balanced, she needed to be saved too. Yeah, maybe Hikaru's still alive. That's why Muramasa didn't trigger the rule of balance. I guess. Let's see. Question is then why? Why save me? It's only recently I started to wonder. In early days, I simply accepted it, then welcomed the future. You still possessed, for there had been a promise in which had been made to me on which I could now collect. So I approached the commissioner and his highness the prince and beseeched them to execute me for my crimes as they swore to do when that began. My suffering, my death would be justice for those I'd slain. They refused to do so. Yeah, we know. And that justice my victims were denied. The men who promised to see it done, who alone knew the depth of my guilt, have ignored their solemn duty to blah blah blah. Yeah, we know. Okay. The game's doing its best to make me, like, completely hate this ending. And not because, like, hey, there's some edge. Like, whatever. Can we not just, like, follow with our own consistency and have Kageyaki actually die? He clearly hasn't paid the price. Because the rule isn't do lethal damage, the rule is kill the person. We had this problem with one of the Amishi women. We ran them through, but they weren't dead. And Muramasa said you absolutely have to finish them and fatally kill them. So he's like, oh, I have to swing again, and then he swung again to fucking kill them. Like, the balance isn't paid. The balance isn't paid until someone actually dies. You can't just injure someone lethally, use Tsurugi regen, and be like, well, I killed them, they just didn't die. Gods. What a fucking idiot. Because if you could do that, then you just do the same thing every time. Oh, this is so lame. Why do they gotta do this? At least apply the law consistently in a way that people would understand it. Right, rest now is all they say the first few times. I went to beg them. Now my requests for audience are denied. Just this morning I knelt at the gates of Kenshoji and was rebuffed by a priest. My patrons have grown too busy, he said. They'll see me when matters permit, and so I go on living. Why? The question grows, a buzzing in my brain, so I wander aimlessly the streets of Kamakura. Why am I alive? All the surviving's given me is a chance to consider my regrets. I killed the car, the one person I swore to protect who's having. It's supposed to be more than me than anything, and I killed her. Why was there another way? If not, then why did I wait so long? Because I failed to act. I'm getting bored. I'm actually getting bored. Okay. Hurry up and do something with this. Hurry up and do something. In a world shaped by a car's dream, if I'd killed her 2 years ago, none of this would have happened. Yep, more people are dying, blah blah blah. Like, regret's the only thing. Come on. What now? Is the mob in the warehouse? Can't get a break. Hey, you know what? Hey. Here's what we're doing. I don't want to read any more of this tonight, because it's really stupid. I'm going to continue this later. They aren't doing anything with this story. We've read 2 entire major scenes, and we're transitioning to a 3rd scene. And fucking nothing's happening. This is the worst denouement ever. We've finished the main story, and it's just like, stuff is happening, but we don't care, and it makes no sense. And we're being introduced to characters we don't know, but we've also done almost every single route in the game. So there's like nothing left. It's so weird. This is so long, but so much nothing. Exactly. This epilogue is so long, but there's like nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing for me here that makes the story better or makes me feel complete. Like, your post-credit scene is supposed to be like your last couple scenes that maybe ramp things up, and then you end it. This is not happening. We're just rambling on, and I'm like, why is he continuing this? This doesn't need to happen. This story is better if they don't have this scene and the previous scene, because they both are completely unnecessary. Like, we already know Russia invades at some point, because we had that in the first route. Whatever. I'll continue this next time.